You don't need me to tell you that some of the strangest and most mature video games came from the 90s. While games like Harvester were busy thrusting a big middle finger directly at the idea that video games need censorship, Tender Loving Care took a more subtle Trojan horse approach. In fact, the way that this game managed to skirt around censorship is pretty clever. Among the old, dark, classic FMV games, TLC is rarely mentioned. Quite frankly, this appalls me. So sit down, we're gonna deep dive into Tender Loving Care, what it is, what it isn't, and the fascinating way that it weaseled itself into Australia. And just a quick heads up, this game is particularly adult. It deals with a lot of very strange themes, and there will be a lot of blockatiles, perhaps the most we've had yet. So let's start at the beginning. A game's first hurdle is, of course, getting released, preferably in as many places as possible. Releasing in the United States is a lot easier than some other countries with stricter guidelines. When TLC was submitted to the Australian Classification Board for a rating, it was refused classification. This means that it was banned. It was illegal to sell, rent, or import. Now, Australia bans everything, so that in and of itself isn't interesting, but it gets crazy. TLC was denied a rating because it features gratuitous nudity, erotic scenes, and very disturbing themes. With this type of content, it's very normal to receive pushback or a banned classification. However, later on in April of 2000, TLC tried again to release in Australia. It changed literally nothing, but this time it received an MA 15+ rating. So how exactly did it do that? TLC is an interactive experience, but there's some debate on if it's actually a video game or not. Interestingly enough, we are still having this same exact argument in 2026. I'm looking at you, mixtape. Because of this, TLC presented itself to the board not as a video game, but as an interactive DVD. It looked Australians straight in the eye and said, "Don't look at me, I am but a humble movie."
I'm telling you, I didn't do anything.
The board clapped like seals and approved it for sale post-haste. Boobs in video games are evil and the downfall of man, but honkers in cinema, good. Now this sparked some conversation. If you were to purchase TLC and play it on your PC, it was illegal, but running a disc with the same exact interactivity and the same scenes on your DVD player, totally fine. Video games as a whole are often much more harshly rated and scrutinized than movies. It's an interesting phenomenon. Normally the reasoning for this is because of the interactivity in the game, but in this particular case, the interactivity is the same in either situation. While the ratings debacle is interesting, obviously the meat of TLC is within the game itself. Tender Loving Care actually has a lot of similarities to games like Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, and Until Dawn, except that it came out much earlier. I figured that this must have been an inspiration to both of those games, but I can't find anything that says that it was. In fact, Sam Barlow, the designer of Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, in an interview said this: "I played a terrible game called Tender Loving Care after I'd done Shattered Memories." He then proceeds to say how bizarre, awful, and hilarious TLC was, but that he did seem to like the ideas presented about psychiatry and weird takes on the narrative. He also referred to TLC as an erotic thriller, which it is. We're getting demonetized for sure. Perhaps if he had been inspired prior to designing Shattered Memories, it could have been called Shattered Memories. The main thing that TLC has in common with games like Shattered Memories and Until Dawn is the psychiatry aspect. All three games change based on questions that a doctor character asks you, the player. Your perception of events appear in the game. In TLC, Dr. Turner will ask you throughout the game how you feel, what you think, and what certain images look like to you. Why don't we try a little practice round right now? What do you see here? How about in this image? What you see can really reveal a lot about you. And what about this one? What's that? You think they kind of resemble the Manta Sleep logo, a white noise machine, and a premium sleep mask? Your mind must really be begging you for a good night's sleep. Thankfully, today Manta Sleep is the sponsor of this video. Manta Sleep masks block out 100% of light, and with summer coming up, that can be really helpful with the longer days. Now come in close for a second, I'm gonna give you a little bit of TMI that nobody asked for. Inside your eyelids are meibomian glands. They provide oil to your eyes to keep them lubed up. Mine don't work right. They like to get clogged up and then my eyes dry out while I sleep and it's awful. I have been frequently using Manta Sleep's warm eye cups to help with this problem. They're super quick and convenient to heat up, they're relaxing, and being able to steam my stupid eyelids until they work right is great. If you look down below, you'll see some Manta Sleep products for sale. Any purchases made there will directly help out the channel. Remember to use code EARLY at checkout for a 10% discount. And with that, let's use our functioning, hydrated eyes to check out Tender Loving Care. The game begins with some explanations on how the game works and what to expect. You are about to experience a fantasy quite unlike anything you've ever seen or felt before. A fantasy built from the very stuff of your own mind. Tender Loving Care is not just a finely crafted suspense story, it's an exploration into your innermost perceptions, opinions, and attitudes. The unfolding story is shaped and changed by your responses to it so that no two people will experience it in exactly the same way. The variations in the way that the story unfolds are seamless and transparent to the viewer. And then it points out down at the bottom that this is created by the makers of The 11th Hour and The Seventh Guest, which is very cool. Arguably the most important character of the game, Dr. Turner, a psychiatrist, makes a grand entrance in a sick convertible. He is played by the iconic John Hurt. He pulls up to a beautiful farmhouse, but it appears to be empty and abandoned.
This place is for sale now. Nobody's buying. Not after what happened here. It's troubling because no one really knows just what did happen.
Dr. Turner explains that he should probably understand what happened as he was involved quite deeply in the events that unfolded. He was a psychiatrist to the trio of characters that the entire story revolves around. But of course, this is a game, so he can't just figure this all out on his own. He needs you, the player, to do all of the work.
Perhaps you can help. A fresh eye and an uncluttered view. And maybe together we can reassemble the happenings and get a better understanding of what took place. We can only hope.
What do you mean we can only hope, dude? Like, aren't you a doctor? Shouldn't it, like, be kind of part of your whole thing to understand what happened with your patients? And what are my qualifications? I'm not an investigator. What do I have to do with any of this? I don't really know how I got involved in the... Oh, shit, I'm talking over the title card. Tender Loving Care. This is based on a book, apparently. Let me introduce you to Michael. That's the actor's name. The character's name is also Michael, and I like it when that happens. It's fun. This lady here is Allison. Together they form the heads of the Overton household.
Breakfast time.
Did you get Jody's breakfast?
Oatmeal and raisins, like always.
She loves her oatmeal.
Yeah, she certainly does.
Allison's defining character traits are that she enjoys knitting for her daughter Jody and talking about her daughter Jody. But it seems that there's a little bit of trouble in Jody Paradise.
Allison, do you remember the nurse we discussed?
The nurse for Jody?
Yeah.
Michael, I told you I can take care of Jody myself.
I know, but Dr. Turner thinks it would be best if we just...
Michael, please.
He thinks it would be best for Jody. And that's what we both want, isn't it? What's best for Jody?
Michael springs it on Allison that the new nurse for Jody, Ms. Catherine Randolph, will also be living with them full-time. Allison's like, the fuck? She is not happy about the idea of some lady living in her house and insists that Jody will probably hate her.
Let's just give it a chance, okay? Let's see what happens.
Michael, you fool. This is a horror FMV game from the 90s. You've just doomed yourself. 90s computer jump scare. Ms. Randolph arrives in a yellow taxi and is immediately established to be kind of a bitch.
I wouldn't tip him. He doesn't deserve it.
Thanks for your trouble. Thanks, man. Good luck.
Michael is a brave man, and he does not seem deterred by this at all. In fact, he kind of stares at her like a lost puppy.
Something wrong, Mr. Overton?
You're not quite what I expected.
What did you expect?
You look exactly like Meredith from The Parent Trap, says Michael. Mrs. Randolph starts throwing her qualifications around like confetti, and she's like, but I mean, you know, if that's not good enough, I guess I'll just leave. But Michael obviously needs the help and goes, blah, no. They reconcile, and she goes, all right, well, you can just call me Catherine.
Okay, Catherine.
Michael waddles up the stairs with Catherine's bags and shows her to her new room. They discuss some casual things, and then the exchange gets a little bit odd when it comes to Jody.
I'm looking forward to meeting your wife.
She thinks you're here to take care of our daughter.
Jody.
Yes, Jody. You know the situation?
Of course.
So if she's not here to take care of Jody, and she's unbuttoning her shirt while Michael is still in the room, what in the fuck is she here for?
Interesting.
Dr. Turner appears to speculate on what's happened so far, but he just doesn't know what to make of everything that's happened.
I'd appreciate it if you take the time to express your opinion about some of the things we've just seen.
TLC has two interactive or gameplay elements. The first is exploring around through the Overton house, and the second is psychological tests. These questions help the game determine how you're interpreting the characters and events and help shape the story based on how you are perceiving things. I'll go through how I personally answered these tests as we go, and we can take a look at how the game shapes itself around what answers I gave.
A few simple questions.
I don't keep a diary because I'm afraid somebody might read it and find out what kind of person I am.
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck.
My dream life is most often colored by...
Where's the Nightmare Gang at?
How did you feel when Catherine began undressing in front of Michael?
I looked directly at my screen and said lol.
What emotion do you feel most strongly toward Michael?
I mean, the "you're not here to look after Jody" thing is kind of sketch, so I guess mistrust.
Which of the following terms best describes Catherine?
Mysterious, I guess, but also, am I insane, or does the wall texture on the wall in the background of this test look like baby faces? Maybe I need a real psych evaluation.
How much faith have you in psychiatry?
Some.
I like to watch people doing intimate things.
Somewhat, because in a movie or online it's fine, but in real life, keep that shit to yourself.
Was it inappropriate for Michael to question Catherine's qualifications?
I think it's appropriate to question anyone's qualifications at any time. I like seeing things get done right. After the test, exploring the Overton household reveals that perhaps Allison isn't really doing too well mentally when you take a look at her diary. I don't want that woman here. What does Michael think he's doing? He never listens to me. That woman isn't going to touch her because we don't need any help. Hate nurses. They always stick that needle in so hard, so fast. This won't hurt a bit. Liars. After the accident, when I went into the intensive care unit where they were keeping Jody and a nurse was there wiping the blood off of Jody's face, she wasn't cleaning her gently. She was rubbing her hard with an awful hospital face cloth, all rough and starched as if Jody couldn't feel it, and I screamed at that nurse. The note goes on like this for a little while and basically describes that Jody has been having nightmares and Allison has almost been dedicating her life to comforting her. Oh, cool, a telephone. Let's check it out. I wonder who we can call.
Hi, I'm Randy Vixen. Welcome to 1-900 Hot Licks. Get ready for the call of your life. You have chosen fantasy number 17, Naughty Nurse Nellie.
Hello there. I'm the night nurse. It's time for your sponge bath. Oh, why don't you sit up? Oh, that's good. Now I'm going to have to take off your gown. There we go. Oh, look at those shoulders. You must work out. And doesn't that sponge feel cool and clean where it touches your skin? Mm-hmm. You're going to be the cleanest patient in the entire wing. Uh-huh. You're so hot. I think you've got a little fever. I can feel the heat coming right off your body. Oops.
Okay, that is enough of that. It actually gets quite lewd. Then I kind of accidentally stumbled into the next set of questions before I got to look around more, so let's quick answer those.
What do you think the painter was feeling when he created this picture?
I've always thought kind of lonely, but since that's not an option, I guess I'll go with voyeuristic.
If you were an animal living in the woods across the road, which of these creatures would you most like to be?
Easy. Bear, hibernation. Next question.
I enjoy tempestuous relationships.
Absolutely not.
This contraption was devised by...
a madman. That looks like a phantasmagoria contraption.
The man is whispering...
Give me a bite of that apple.
The man is thinking...
Damn, woman, look at those shoulders.
When I stare at clouds, I try to see...
animals.
Allison. Allie, the nurse is here.
Did you say something, Michael?
I said the nurse is here.
Oh,
She's very good.
is she?
She has excellent qualifications.
Jody's not gonna like her. She's gonna be afraid of her, and she's not gonna like her.
I know this is supposed to be like a dramatic, beautiful introduction of a character, but like I'm so distracted by that cow painting. Catherine immediately drops the cold, kind of bitchy way she carries herself now that she's in the presence of Allison. She does have to win her over after all. Michael nicely tries to tell her about the house and she just cuts him off and focuses directly on Allison.
This is the first time we've had a stranger come live with us.
I know exactly how you feel.
When I was a little girl, we had to have a nurse live in our house to take care of my mother who'd suffered a stroke. How horrible. Yes, but out of bad things, good things can come. That's what made me decide to become a nurse. I saw the tremendous good you can do for other people if they'll let you.
Now, it's important to note here that Michael hasn't been to work in a while because Allison just can't stand the thought of him leaving after whatever the accident was.
I'd like to talk to you about Jody and what happened. Perhaps you could excuse us for a few minutes, Mr. Overton?
Knowing that Allison has a difficult time with him leaving, he hesitates, but eventually agrees. Catherine and Allison talk for hours and hours, and late that night, Allison finally heads into the kitchen. Michael asks if he could talk to Catherine about the appointment, but Allison's like, nah, she already went to bed. This annoys him.
She didn't want to speak to me first?
No.
Allison tells Michael about how much she likes Catherine, and she thinks that she's just wonderful and pretty much has a complete 180.
So does that mean that you're happy that she's here?
Of course I'm happy, Michael. Why wouldn't I be happy to have professional help for Jody?
But I thought... it's very good, honey. It's the right attitude.
Surprised by this response, Michael considers that if everything goes well with Catherine, maybe he could get back to work pretty soon. Once again, Allison completely contradicts herself.
I thought you had a problem with me leaving you.
I think it would be good for you to go back to work. Don't forget to say goodnight to Jody.
Michael finds himself mystified as to how Allison could have had such a massive shift in her thoughts and perceptions so quickly. Rather than heading straight to bed, he heads outside for a little pre-sleepy, thinky drink to relax. But there ain't no rest for the Michael. When he finally heads inside to go to bed, Allison starts giving him shit about not having heard him say goodnight to Jody. Michael explains that he didn't want to wake her up, but Allison insists that she'd be awake. So he heads back down the hall.
Good night, Jody. Have good dreams.
As Michael crawls into bed, he gives Allison a kiss on the shoulder and she very visibly pulls away from it.
That was impressive. The way Catherine immediately seemed to penetrate Allison's shell and make contact. I have to admit that she gained more of Allison's confidence in a few minutes than I did in 6 months. Wonder what I was doing wrong.
Dr. Turner mentions that Catherine seems to be a great thing for Allison, but that what happened at the window was a little bit odd. He speculates that it almost seemed like Catherine knew Michael was outside. Once again, he doesn't know what to make of all of it, and it's time for another round of questions.
Michael, Allison.
I think he loves her because he kind of puts up with a lot of shit and like weird back and forth stuff. And obviously he's been doing a lot to take care of her, and he's the one that called Catherine in the first place to get her help.
Nurses like to boss people around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. Not inherently, probably.
Is masturbation better than sex with another person?
I mean, I don't know, like, it kind of depends, right?
Which of the following terms best describes the way Catherine appeared in her uniform?
I think she looked like a beautiful angel. And also, I still kind of think she looks like Meredith from Parent Trap 1998.
Had Michael fantasized about Catherine before she appeared undressed in front of her window?
Yeah, probably.
God has an influence on my life.
Literally never.
My drives might be put in the following order. Strongest first.
I mean, food and sleeping are like my favorite things, so yeah, those gotta go first. Exploring the house again, there's a new diary entry from Allison. She really likes Catherine and views her as a genuine person that really wants to help Jody. She believes that Michael is avoiding Jody because he feels guilty about the accident. Ever since the accident, anyone touching her makes her feel sick, especially Michael, and especially when people are trying to comfort her. She says that sometimes while she's holding Jody, it feels as if her body is so light that she could just float away, and she sometimes stares with a vacant expression. But this little nugget here is the most interesting piece. Today, as I was sitting on her bed, I began to weep. I was shaking and crying. I I couldn't stop. "Are you sad?" asked Jody. And I told her that I was crying because I was so happy that she was alright and that she's never going anywhere without a seatbelt again. She'll never be hurt again. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow. I'm glad that Catherine is here. Whenever you're able to look around the master bedroom, there's a radio show that you can check in on. This radio show is my favorite bit in the game as it increasingly gets more and more unhinged every time you listen. It really reminds me a lot of The Deb of Night and VTM Bloodlines, but like in a weird 90s self-help way.
Hi, I'm Dr. Betty Sharpstone. If you can't quite get your act together, if your issue is poor self-image and depression combined with a mix of self-pity, you need to read my new book, I Can't Stand Myself, 10 Ways Women Can Get a Life. I was a single mother. I worked my way through college. I even managed to get a black belt in Taekwondo. So don't try to tell me that you can't do it. Quit whining and get on track. A trip to your bookstore and a mere $24.95 could change your life. If I could personally come to your house to kick your butt, I would. But I can't. So I wrote a butt kicker of a book. Buy it today and listen to my daily radio show on KPRB. Now go out and get a life.
Inside of Catherine's room, there's a recorder left on her desk with a voice memo. On it, she says that Allison reminds her of someone named Colette and that it makes her heart flutter. She views Allison as having dead, corpse-like eyes, but she knows that deep down she's a fun and, Catherine's words, not mine, sensual person. She feels confident that she can restore her former personality. Catherine also acknowledges that she has a savior complex.
And I really believe that we're here on this earth for a reason. My purpose in life is to help people get well. Michael and I had an immediate connection, the wrong kind of connection. I'll just have to be careful with him. And myself, too.
You can also check Catherine's personal diary that she types up on her computer. Ominously, there's one entry that says, "I couldn't see him, but I know he was out there, alone in the dark watching." At her bedside table, Catherine also has a copy of the Sacred Techniques of Tantra. YouTube would come to my house and execute me if I read most of this. It goes into detail about how to perform certain relaxing massages and sexual techniques. It also has a very YouTube-friendly term for the phallus, Wand of Light. But you know, if you read certain type of comics, you're already quite familiar with the old Wand of Light. I'm on to you. Now watch Michael chug an entire glass of warm milk.
Warm milk. It's supposed to help you sleep.
On Michael's desk is a resume for Catherine. It states all of her previous jobs, one of which was a shiatsu massage body worker. Her psychiatry and nursing qualifications are as long as a CVS receipt. He also keeps a journal. Everyone keeps a journal, it's a 90s FMV game. He basically says that he feels like Catherine is flirting with him and deliberately toying with him. He wants to like her and hopes that everything remains professional so that she can help Allison, but he has a strange feeling about her. He also writes about a random story of a coworker telling him about his niece that was in a car accident, but who's getting better through physical therapy. He tells Michael to never give up hope because of this. Michael mentions that his best friend is a guy named Mark who he views as way cooler than him. He wishes that he had some of his bad boy charisma and confidence. And then Michael writes, "I have to mention this. I was out on the side porch in the dark when Mrs. Randolph came to her window and stood there. I could have gone inside, but I was curious. She knew I was watching her, she knew I was out there. And so she put on this show for me, sort of a display. What is she trying to prove? I can't stop thinking about her amazing body. Just knowing that she's in the next room is going to make it difficult for me to sleep tonight. I can't deny that I'm attracted to her. I mean, I'm not dead. She's very sexy and alluring. I want to know more about her. I hope that Allison never stumbles across this." Michael also keeps some interesting books on his shelves, and one of them, well, let's just take a look at it. Hugging the Shame Boy. The author of the book, Arthur Merlin, is quite interesting. He apparently writes other bangers such as I Walk Like a Man, the Underbelly of Paternal America. He raises vicuñas, which are apparently kind of like llamas, with his 15 adopted children. Hugging the Shame Boy is a fictional book in this universe about a character who the author calls John, calling in and stating that he has problems with his love life. John says that his wife says that he doesn't know how to love her, and because of this, she doesn't love him anymore. She demands a divorce, and John describes how he doesn't know how to respond, which makes her even more angry and she packs her bags and leaves. The author speculates that John must be like a lot of men who are raised by stern, stoic fathers, telling him things like, be a man, only sissies cry, and don't play with dolls, you look like a girl. This, the author thinks, caused John to only feel emotions of shame whenever he felt pleasure or love. Shame is the seed we will pass on to our sons if we do not break the cycle. The shame boy is the little voice inside of our heads that says, don't show emotion, don't give your love freely, don't look weak. In John's life, the shame boy had taken over his personality so completely that he appeared to be a callous, uncaring, cold man. In reality, John was a warm, loving, nurturing person. What I needed to do was show him how to turn the shame boy into the lover boy. The shame boy cannot be killed. The shame boy cannot be smothered. The shame boy must be hugged. By embracing the shame boy, it loses all of its power. It struggles at first, like a child throwing a tantrum, but after a while, it realizes that it's helpless to resist and it's filled with love. I gave John a mantra to repeat over and over again. Here's what I told him to say. I'm a good boy, I'm a happy boy, I'm a lover boy. He was instructed to sit in meditation for 1 hour every day and repeat this saying. Then I told him to stand naked in front of a full-length mirror and look at his body. He was encouraged to say, I am a beautiful man, I'm a lovely man, I'm a lover boy. Afterwards, he was told to go for a long walk and say something nice to every living thing he met. A love walk. Of course, this magically fixes all of John's problems. He becomes emotionally in tune with himself, and it not only fixes his relationship with his wife, but with past exes and family he no longer talks to as well. Because he was so successful at embracing his shame boy, all of these women now desperately wanted him, and he tells the author that he now has 7 partners. So there you have it. If you're maidenless, just hug your shame boy and go on a love walk. Now, I spend so much time focusing on this because this excerpt is both goofy and stupid, but it also makes a good point and dwells on the entire narrative of TLC as a whole. When is it appropriate to push and when is it appropriate to coddle? A lot of people are raised in the way that John was, and the 90s were really big on breaking this cycle and gentle parenting and self-help books. I think that the issue is that generations tend to go into extremes, and I think that TLC kind of comments on this. It's always bad to cry or show emotion. It's always bad to enjoy something that others don't deem acceptable. Or you must always do whatever you feel all of the time. Your feelings are always good and you're always right. But there's a time and a place. Sometimes you do have to have a stiff upper lip, toughen up, and carry on. Other times you need to express your emotions and indulge in things that you like, even if other people don't approve. It just depends on the situation. TLC as a whole, I think, is a really interesting look at this concept, but we're gonna get back to this in a little bit. For now, there's a new round of questions to delve into my psyche.
If this woman showed up at my house, I would
ask her where she got the 4-foot-long penis.
What does the skeleton represent?
Well, he got that wench by the hair, so I don't know, maybe jealousy?
The following caption best describes this painting.
Holy shit, we've seen this painting on the channel before. This painting was in Faust. It's the painting where you have to put a pencil into her nipple to unlock the door. If you haven't watched that video, that probably sounds strange. Go watch that for context. Anyway, my answer was that Chloe and Cecilia are practicing their nipple tweaking. You know, it's times like these that everything gets a little too real for me, and I realize the types of things I record myself saying.
I often fantasize about being dominated.
Nah, I'm good, man.
What is going on here?
Alright, so I'm actually aware of this painting. It is a Michelangelo painting, and she is indeed procreating with that swan, and also that's what it looks like she's doing. What? Don't look at me. That's just how Greek myths are.
What was the first thing you noticed about this painting?
Titty.
What does nest of spicery mean to you?
That's where I keep my Lowry's seasoning salt.
This could be a scene from
1001 Nights, I guess?
Sex is the best thing in the world.
No, actually, Devil May Cry is.
The old man reminds me of
Greedy, my Discord mod. You see that there? That's a joke for you, Discord server members.
I have dabbled in homoerotic relationships.
No, because that would require me to leave my house and socialize and talk to people, and I'm not about to do something crazy like that. The next morning, Michael heads downstairs, and Catherine is looking over Allison's current treatment plans. She thinks that all of the medications that Dr. Turner has prescribed to her are overkill and wants to take a more holistic approach.
Ideally, we should wean her off of all medication.
It's more like a doctor's decision, don't you think?
I will consult with Dr. Turner on this, of course. Is she awake?
No. She sleeps late most mornings. By the time I bring her breakfast up, she's usually awake.
That's a mistake.
What is?
You're keeping her too comfortable and secure in her condition. We need to bring her out to a more active and self-rewarding existence.
Catherine is very critical of Michael allowing Allison to do nothing all day. He seems to be in a frame of mind where he feels the need to do everything for her to protect her in her vulnerable state. Once again, the problem of allowing emotions to rule versus stoicism. Both can take over your life in a negative way.
Your wife is desperately holding on to the past. But by you doing things that you never did before, you're helping her to create an unreal world. A world of illusion, where she doesn't do the things she did before and is actually losing her grip on the past.
Catherine suggests that Michael go upstairs to wake up Allison and make her come down for breakfast. Michael hesitates and gets uncomfortable, saying that the change would just be too abrupt for her. He tries multiple times to shoot down the idea. He truly believes that even just going back to the normalcy of eating breakfast, like life before the accident, was just too much for fragile Allison. But Catherine insists.
Do you want me to do it?
No. I'll do it.
Good. Tell her that I'd like to discuss Jody's breakfast.
As Michael leaves the room, he notices Catherine uncrossing her legs. He, of course, views this as flirty and intentional, but I don't know, brother, I think she might just actually be adjusting herself. Michael tells Allison that it's time to come downstairs and participate in breakfast, and she looks like it's the worst thing anyone has ever told her in her entire life.
The nurse is down in the kitchen and she wants breakfast.
Michael mentions that Jody's breakfast needed to be discussed as well, and she suddenly pops up like a spring daisy and scuttles right downstairs. He is genuinely shocked at how locked in Allison becomes at the mention of their daughter's breakfast routine.
Oh, Catherine's certainly doing her job, isn't she? She seems to be having the right effect on Allison, but I'm not sure about the way she's affecting Michael. What about that bit of business under the table? Do you think she did that on purpose?
Dr. Turner's presence, of course, means it's time for a new round of questions.
Michael has inappropriate feelings for Catherine.
Of course, that's not even debatable. He wrote about it in his journal.
Sometimes I wish I could control another person with the power of my mind.
Yes, specifically bank tellers.
Catherine can only relate to men on a sexual level.
No, I think that would be unfair to say.
Prescription drugs are always good as long as they're prescribed by a doctor.
I mean, of course, I'm not against medication, obviously, but always? That's a strong word. Unfortunately, sometimes doctors make mistakes too.
I have bowel problems.
IBS.
Catherine is a tease.
Okay, well, now that I could agree on. The next recording from Catherine left on her desk is just weird. She goes on about how she likes to watch Allison knit for hours on end because she looks possessed. Then she gets into record-breaking levels of rambling about literally nothing, unprecedented even by myself.
The wisteria's blooming, and the air smells of honey. Whoa! Hello? Did I break this thing? A big fat bumblebee just flew into my head and I dropped the recorder. I'm standing by an old barn watching some little birds build a nest. They're so busy. One of them has some golden stuff in his beak that he's weaving into the nest. It looks like hair. Now he's flying up to the house. He's going to the window of my bedroom. Oh my gosh! He's taking the hair out of my brush that I left on the windowsill. Oh, how neat. They're using my hair to help build their home.
Okay then, well, at least her journal today is actually interesting. Apparently the woman Colette that Allison reminds her of, and they broke up over not quite seeing eye to eye on monogamy. Catherine also writes, I told Allison that watching a nurse take care of my mother after she'd suffered a stroke inspired me to become a nurse myself. Of course, the story isn't true, but as in the past, it helped establish a bond. The truth is that I became a nurse for no particular reason at all that I can think of, and I got into psychiatry simply because there was a job opening. She then goes on a rant about how much she hates doctors because they all think that they're smarter than her because she's just a nurse. Except, of course, for Dr. Turner. One thing that can happen as you're exploring around the house is bumping into characters when you enter certain rooms, and they start referring to you like you're actually there suddenly, and it's kind of jarring.
Oh, hi. Catherine told me about you, and I was a little scared at first. I thought I'd be afraid when we first met, but she assured me that it'd be okay.
Like, damn, sorry I scared you. I guess we'll just stand here awkwardly in the bathroom together for a while you tell me how much you like Catherine. Yeah, I'm very happy for you. Anyway, if you need the bathroom, I can leave. There's also plenty of things to look at, like pamphlets, magazine articles, books, poetry, weird-ass, ominously kind of relevant news stories, and maps that give you an idea of where the setting is, that kind of stuff. Everyone shut up, my radio show's on.
Hi, Dr. Betty. I love your show. It's changing my life.
Thanks, Sally. How can I help?
Well, I've got a little problem.
That's why people call in. Can you turn your radio off? We're getting feedback.
Oh, sorry.
That's better. Now...
I'll get right to the point. My husband and I are having problems in the bedroom.
Sexual problems.
Yeah. You see, Matt just doesn't know how to please me.
Have you talked about it?
Sure.
Have you been to any kind of therapy for couples?
Yes, we went for 6 months. Nothing worked.
So your husband knows what you want, but he won't give it to you.
Precisely. He thinks I'm too, kinky.
He has a problem with your bedroom fantasies.
Yeah, he's offered to do everything but that one thing, and it's driving me crazy.
And the one thing is?
I can't mention it on the air.
Oh, come on, Sally. It's the 90s.
That's what I tell Matt all the time.
Let me take a wild guess. Does your husband have a problem with oral sex?
Not at all.
So what's the problem, Sally?
He won't wear the rubber Nixon mask.
I'm sorry, Sally. What did you say?
He won't wear the Richard Milhouse Nixon mask. He thinks it's weird.
You want him to wear a Nixon mask when you make love.
Yeah.
And he thinks you're weird.
Yeah. Isn't that silly?
Sally,
Yes.
you need help.
Allison's journal for the day is odd, to say the least. She says that it's good that Catherine wants her off her medications because she needs to be alert and wide awake to take care of Jody. Her writing is a little bit bizarre. She does odd things like repeating herself, saying, "Then I looked at myself in the mirror like I haven't seen myself. Really seen myself. Really seen myself." Then she goes on a rant about how happy she is that Michael finally gave in and listened to her about getting a nurse for Jody, when the entire beginning of the game it was his idea and she resisted very hard, saying that Jody would hate the nurse. She chalks it all up to Michael being a man, and men are obviously too afraid to ask for help. Allison is very weird and inconsistent. When checking the phone, Dr. Turner seems to make a comment about the whole comfort versus pushing debate.
To become a butterfly, one must first be nurtured in a protective cocoon.
Also, Dr. Turner has some more questions.
Where is this couple now?
Trapped eternally in the house's ghosts.
Around her neck, she is wearing a...
magical amulet.
Pouting is a good way to get what you want.
Hell no, you pout around me, you're getting a wedgie.
You can tell by the expression on this little girl's face that she is...
I mean, I would probably say scared because what the fuck is going on behind her, but I guess sick.
People who are cruel to animals should be severely punished.
I wonder how many people said no to this question.
Will the dead rise from the ground on Judgment Day?
Well, that would require my belief in a Judgment Day in the first place, so no.
You can tell that...
I mean, she's in a painting with her, she probably loves her.
I sometimes fear that I will go to hell for the bad things I've done.
If I believed in hell, I probably would fear that, but no. Allison shows up for breakfast, excited to discuss Jody. Catherine proposes a new schedule for her. This arc of the story I'm going to call the Antagonize, Alienate, and Boss Around Michael arc.
You can go upstairs and get dressed, Mr. Overton. We'll call you when we're ready.
Well, go on, Michael. Michael.
All right.
My man can't even do chores on his little adorable John Deere riding mower without being bothered.
What's up?
Allison wants you to do that later.
Why? I'm almost finished and it's supposed to rain.
It would be really helpful to me if you could do it later.
What possible difference could it make?
Jody's trying to take a nap and you're keeping her awake.
You can tell that Michael is starting to feel like he's being brushed aside, taken for granted, and unappreciated during these scenes. He sees Catherine coming out of Jody's room and asks her what's going on. She explains that basically everyone needs to be extremely considerate of Jody right now to gain Allison's trust since she's so protective of her. This protectiveness over Jody seems to really be something that Allison values. Feeling a little bit bothered and confused by the whole situation, Michael heads over to see Dr. Turner.
Hi, Mrs. Greenstreet. I know I don't have an appointment, but I really need to speak with Dr. Turner for just a minute.
He's with a patient.
Well, can I wait?
He's got a very tight schedule.
I'll just be a few minutes.
He's due at the state hospital immediately after this appointment, and he's running late.
It's important that I see him very briefly.
Is this an emergency? Is your wife with you?
No, I just came from...
Then perhaps I can schedule an appointment for you.
No, look, it is an emergency. I really need to talk to him.
Please have a seat. And when he's through with his session, I'll ask when he can see you.
Eventually, Dr. Turner's hot patient walks out of his office, and even here, Michael cannot escape being bullied.
What are you looking at?
Dr. Turner finds the time to bring Michael into his office to have a quick chat with him.
It's really not an emergency. Just the only way I could get Mrs. Greenstreet to agree to let me stay.
She tries to keep me on schedule.
Firstly, Michael asks about Catherine's decision to try and get Allison off of medication, explaining that he feels that despite her qualifications, it's really a doctor's job to make that kind of decision rather than a nurse. Dr. Turner understands the concern, but says that he ultimately does agree with the decision, especially if a live-in nurse will be there to monitor constantly. Then the discussion turns to general feelings about Catherine.
How does Allison feel about her?
No, much better than I expected.
Well, that's a good thing then.
Well, I suppose.
You don't like her, is that it?
No, it's not that I don't like her.
Has there been some kind of problem?
Her methods seem unorthodox.
How so?
Well, she's very authoritarian, for one thing. She's virtually bossing me around in my own house.
Yes. Catherine is used to a lot of responsibility. She was a head nurse at a very young age.
Dr. Turner keeps running defense for Catherine, and Michael continues to get more critical. He asks what happened to her husband.
Divorced quite recently.
Yeah. Guess she's better at solving other people's problems than her own.
The failure of a partnership should not be a condemnation of the people involved, Michael. Sometimes things are just not meant to be.
Of course. I don't know why I said that.
However, the driving factor of Michael's visit is Catherine's approach to dealing with Allison. Oddly, he says that she's indulging in her delusion too much and that he expected a professional to deal in reality.
She has an enormous task, you know. And a major step would be for her to gain Allison's trust.
That's what she says.
Well, she's not lying.
No, I'm sure she isn't. I guess you think it's dumb for me to be so worried.
Oh, of course not. But you must try not to feel so anxious. We're watching the situation very closely. I thought I handled it rather well, though, don't you? I mean, if I knew then what I know now, I might have altered my approach somewhat, but given the circumstances, I think my responses to Michael's concerns were, well, appropriate.
I'm a little bit confused about this game's timeline. Dr. Turner in the site questions and commentary scenes is clearly looking back at the event as it happened in the past. He asks me, the player, to look at the past and tell him my perception. But, also the characters can literally see me. I can bump into them in the house and they can talk to me. I showed you that earlier.
Oh, hi.
But also, clearly these events have obviously already happened in the past by the time that Dr. Turner meets us to ask us about it, and well, you know what, maybe I just shouldn't think about it too hard, and I should just go on to the next set of questions.
Catherine was wrong to make Michael stop mowing the lawn.
I have no opinion, because on the one hand, let the dude work. On the other hand, if the kid was really sleeping, it's probably not a good idea to be all fucking loud.
The word which best describes Mrs. Greenstreet is...
loyal, ride or die. If you're the type of person that thinks she's mean for trying to keep a schedule on track, then you're a little goober. You would be annoyed if your appointment got moved back because some dude walked in, okay?
How do you feel in the company of highly intelligent people?
Stimulated. They could probably tell me something really cool.
Catherine's methods definitely seem unorthodox.
Don't get it twisted, I think she's a little bit of a weirdo, but I don't think she's done anything that crazy yet.
How do you imagine Dr. Turner felt during his conversation with Michael?
I think he seemed pretty chill, like he had it under control. Exploring around Dr. Turner's office is a little bit strange. There's a TV in the corner that you can watch, and at first the footage starts out like this. Some kind of black and white TV show or movie with some kind of medical something or other going on. But if you watch it long enough, abruptly, out of nowhere, the channel suddenly changes to this. I can't show you exactly what I'm seeing on the screen, but I promise you, well, full frontal nudity. As you leave the office, you can bump into Mrs. Greenstreet.
I don't know about you, but I think this situation isn't good. Not good at all. Could even be dangerous.
She explains that while she doesn't really like Catherine very much on a personal level, she is indeed a very qualified and experienced psychotherapist. She expresses worry that Michael undermining her treatment could potentially cause setbacks. She also seems to imply that while she generally trusts Dr. Turner's judgment, she feels that perhaps he's a little too enthusiastic about Catherine. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it's my lunch hour, and it's wasting away. Keep an eye on him for me, will you? And maybe you should watch out for our nurse-turned-therapist. She's a bit too clever for her own good, if you ask me.
See, this whole time I kind of get the feeling that Mrs. Greenstreet is going to turn out to be that one character that's actually rational and logical the entire game, but is framed as being mean because of it. I'm a huge Mrs. Greenstreet fan. I wonder if anyone has said that before. Greenstreet gang.
Bugs are best described as
usually beneficial?
Surrealistic art disturbs me.
Nah, it's cool.
If I was stuck behind the lines in enemy territory, I would most want to have
probably a map so I could get the hell out of there. But cyanide capsule is also a good choice.
The story of Adam and Eve is completely made up.
In my personal opinion, yes.
I have never been afraid of clowns.
No, let me tell you, when I was a kid, I used to spend the night at this other kid's house, and she had a clown doll that hung on a shelf over the bed, and that actually scared me.
If I saw a car that was in flames along the highway, I would...
I mean, the fuck am I gonna be able to do about it? Call the police.
This image makes me think of...
I guess an old man?
The artist who painted this...
has a unique vision.
Van Gogh painted such startling works because he was insane.
Isn't he, like, pretty famously a bit nuts? Michael gets home from Dr. Turner's and Allison is genuinely tweaking.
Oh, Michael.
What? You look so excited. What's going on?
It's Jody.
What about Jody?
She's sitting up. She's sitting up in bed.
Really?
Yes. Catherine got her to do it.
Apparently, Catherine told Jody that she simply needs to lock in and try harder, and suddenly Jody was able to sit up in bed. Have you considered just getting better, idiot? Michael is clearly more shocked than excited.
And that's not all. You gotta do it. You just gotta do it.
Do what?
She wants her own television for her room. She wants her own television.
Catherine wants her own television set.
Yes. No, Jody wants her own television. She's sitting up now, and she wants her own television set.
Oh.
Well, Michael, I would think that you'd be more excited and happy about this.
I am. It's such a surprise.
Isn't it, though? It's because of Catherine. That woman can work miracles.
Michael is not quite ready to accept that Catherine is an actual miracle worker, but he has to admit Allison is improving as well. She helps him bring groceries into the house, which is a vast improvement over her previous borderline catatonic state. While they're putting groceries away together, Allison tells him all about how into meditation Catherine is.
She does it faithfully for 1 hour every day. While she's doing it, she can't be disturbed.
Was that right?
Michael continues being kind of a douche, and Allison is like, brother, what the hell is up with you? He complains about how Catherine forced him to go shopping when he had just done so the other day. On top of that, she demanded all kinds of organic and high-end brands of groceries. He complains about them being expensive and probably not worth it.
Soy milk, for Christ's sake.
Nothing is too great a sacrifice or an effort if it will help Jody.
You're right.
That night, Michael leaves an entry in his journal. It says, I dread going to bed. Allison sleeps so rigidly, like a corpse. I want to run from the house, run away from them. I'm going out onto the porch to drink a couple of beers. It's starting to rain. Michael sits out on the porch in the rain and is in a noticeably weird mood. Allison heads out and asks him if he can head up to Jody's room to get her report cards and drawings to show Catherine, because apparently she needs them to learn more about Jody. He gets really upset and very clearly does not want to go in there. He lashes out and says that Catherine can get them herself, but Allison insists that she wouldn't know where to look for them. The tension really starts rising. Something is not good with Michael right now. He's not just being bitchy, something is really bothering him. Allison heads back inside and Michael seems to have to build himself up to go in. The entire tone and mood of the game suddenly shifts here. So let's unpack that because it was very dramatic out of nowhere, and I like to take my FMV scenes overly seriously. I really like how they did this reveal. Up until this point, it's been obvious that something isn't quite right, and most people probably saw the Jody being dead actually plot coming from a mile away. You never see her, Michael seems to disregard her, and Allison is virtually obsessed with her. Catherine is supposed to be Jody's nurse, but it's pretty obvious that she's actually Allison's nurse. But I really like how up until now, the story presents itself with a context-withheld escalation. The tone of the game for the most part so far has been pretty level, kinda flirty, and not too dark, although it is strange. So why does the shift into drama and emotional breakdown happen when it does in a seemingly random scene walking up the stairs over a random request? Michael deals throughout the game with trigger stacking. Each individual problem is kind of like a drop in the bucket. Allison's mental state and delusions, Catherine pushing and feeding into the delusion, having to pretend to say goodnight to a dead child, each thing is a drop in the bucket. Aside from sometimes being a little bit irritable or snarky, for the most part Michael handles these things pretty calmly, all things considered. We as an audience don't fully realize what he's going through internally. From an outsider's perspective, we can tell that something is wrong, but we're missing the context. Michael is good at pushing down his emotions. He's good at ignoring how much the situation with Jody is affecting him until the rain. The rain is the final drop in the bucket. He's already dealing with all of these things internally, and the rain mentally brings him back to the night of the accident. This is what pushes him over the edge into this huge tonal shift. For the entire scene, while he's sitting on the porch and walking up the stairs, we don't understand why he's so bothered until we get the context of the rain. This sudden bursting of emotions while doing something random, like walking up the stairs, kind of reminds me of Tiny Chef, where he gets a ton of terrible information dumped on him all at once, and he tries to cope with it by straightening himself up and getting back to work before collapsing under his own grief during the mundane task of dusting. Or Or like in the really underrated movie A Ghost Story, where the main character eats pie quietly on screen for over 4 minutes before suddenly breaking down. All of these scenes have characters trying to keep their emotional walls together until the dam bursts at a seemingly mundane time. I really like scenes like this. I think that they're very accurate and painful representations of grief, and I like that TLC retroactively applies context. I think that that's really fun.
Catherine is manipulative.
I mean, kind of, yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
Swearing offends me.
Have you seen my channel?
Do you believe Michael has ever been unfaithful?
No, because of how conflicted he is in his little notes about Catherine.
Jodie can be best described as which of the following?
I guess I would say as a crutch to not have to face reality.
I am hostile toward people who lead alternative lifestyles.
Nah, you do you.
Sometimes, when I'm drunk, I get angry and break things.
Definitely not. I'm the type of drunk that just thinks everything is really funny.
If I was Michael, I would be very angry with Catherine.
It's kind of hard to say because on one hand she's encouraging a delusion, but also she's very experienced, so I don't know.
Catherine is a skilled practitioner.
Yeah, she's qualified. I think that the real mystery of this game is why this household keeps a book of erotic art on the floor next to the toilet.
We have Pat on the line.
Hello, Dr. Betty.
Hi, Pat. What's on your mind?
This radio entry is really long and kind of weird, so I'm just going to summarize it. A woman named Pat calls in saying her husband is no longer interested in her physically. Dr. Betty asks if she's hot. Pat confirms that she is indeed attractive, it's just that her husband is busy porking someone else, who is 600 pounds and 68 years old, and also her mother. Just, what the fuck? I don't know why this is in the game. The whole tone of the game from here on out is just a lot darker and more strange. Just everything is weird now.
Something very interesting happened today. We were making dinner and Allison cut her finger while chopping vegetables. It was a bad cut, but she just quietly stared with fascination at the blood dripping out of the wound. I overcame my urge to bind the finger because I knew something important was happening. I figured she was having a flashback to the accident. I wonder what somebody would have said if they had just seen me watching her bleed like that, but I couldn't interrupt it though. I had to see where it would lead. After about a minute, it seemed a lot longer, she started to tremble uncontrollably. And that's when I stepped in and washed and bound the wound. Allison didn't say a word for a couple of hours. She sat at the kitchen table, staring into space. It reminded me of when we went bike riding that one time and you flew over the handlebars and landed on your palms in the gravel, and you just sat there, plucking the stones from your bloody hands with the serene, rapt expression on your face. You told me that you loved things like that because they made you feel so alive. I wonder if Allison was thinking about life or death.
Catherine's journal talks about a terrible sadness that permeates the house and how Allison told her that she's no longer physical with Michael since the accident. She says that she'd like to get Allison into meditation. Here I also bumped into Catherine inside of Jodie's room. She rambles on and on about how Michael is kind of ruining everything.
She'd be a lot better off if he went back to work and let me get on with my job. I'm making a lot of progress with her. And it would be a considerable improvement if I didn't have to explain myself every step of the way.
She then literally goes on to describe her job as undoing the damage that Michael has caused over the past 6 months. Also, maybe it's just me, but I think it's kind of good that he's proactive and concerned about his wife's treatment. Like, that seems like a good thing to me. I'd also like to point out that in Jodie's room, there's a little bootleg Temu Ernie. And don't ask me what's going on in the Etch-a-Sketch, I don't know.
When I was a child, I was afraid of
the devil.
When I was a kid, I pretended to be ill
so I could stay home and watch anime and play video games.
Should children be allowed to have pets?
I think animals are extremely important for children.
Long car trips are
fun.
I prefer vibrant colors to muted tones.
No opinion, it depends.
Children make life difficult.
Kids are cool, but they're objectively needy and expensive.
A child who makes a mess should be...
I'm lecturing your ass until you pick that shit up.
Teasing is a natural part of childhood and should be encouraged.
No opinion, because it is a natural, normal part of childhood, but I don't think it should be encouraged.
Mothers eventually have to let go of their children.
Not like 100%, but yes. Michael is still pretty agitated and confronts Catherine about the TV that she wants him to set up in Jody's room.
Excuse me.
Yes?
This thing with the television.
What thing?
Bringing a set into this room and actually hooking it up.
What about it?
It's ridiculous.
He bluntly tells her that he thinks that the TV is a really stupid idea.
You're building up Allison's hopes pretending Jody's still alive. You're going about this whole thing wrong.
Catherine argues that Allison is making progress. Instead of laying in bed all day, she's active and participating in life. Ultimately, Michael caves and agrees to bring in the TV, although he's not happy about feeding into this delusion. Michael gets the TV set up, and Allison is thrilled that Jody will finally be able to enjoy TV. Then at breakfast, she drops this bomb.
Catherine thinks we should get a pet for Jody.
A what?
A little dog like Punky.
Animals are out of the question.
Michael resists getting a new dog with all he's got. Apparently, a while back, Jody did have a dog named Punky, but that dog passed away. Catherine insists that a pet would bring life back into the home and encourage Jody to be more active. Allison becomes fixated on the idea, and Michael gives in.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael. You're the most wonderful husband ever.
Michael immediately heads over to Dr. Turner's office to complain. He explains what Catherine's been doing and that now she's demanding that he go out and buy a dog for a child that doesn't exist. Dr. Turner insists that she knows what she's doing, and Michael at this point finally says that he doesn't think that she does. Like, he very loudly proclaims Catherine does not know what she's doing.
Hello, Michael.
Which is awkward because she's in Dr. Turner's office. Catherine tells Dr. Turner all about how Allison seems to have improved quite a lot. She's no longer depressed, she has her energy back, and she's doing things again. Michael pushes back. He agrees that Allison seems better, but he doesn't appreciate that it's at the expense of her ignoring reality. Catherine and Dr. Turner seem to really only care that Allison is feeling better and insist that she's improving. Over time, as she heals, later on she'll be able to become fully better. Michael just needs to trust the process.
Then you think I should do what Catherine says?
Yes, I think it would be most helpful. I can see now that Michael was more upset than I'd realized.
As a child, I enjoyed myself most
when I was alone.
Is Allison conscious of Michael's sexual desires?
Well, she talked to Catherine about it, so yes.
Does Michael want Allison to recover?
Yeah.
I consider myself to be
floundering and unfocused.
Allison is making real progress.
Nah, I'm with Michael on this one.
Catherine is acting in Allison's best interest.
Man, I don't know.
Catherine was in my office under innocent circumstances.
Yeah, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Once again, clicking the TV in Dr. Turner's office is really strange.
Psychoanalysis. Treatment may go on for years.
I'm so excited. I can't wait till Michael gets back. A dog! Can you imagine? Jody will be so happy. Everything is much better since Catherine's arrived. I'm sorry. I just never thought I'd feel this hopeful again. It's wonderful. I just can't.
Here is the wise old man of medicine, beloved Dr. Zero.
Out of nowhere, Dr. Turner is like, hey, come over here, I'm gonna test if you're psychic. Man, this shit drove me nuts. I gotta admit something to you all. I actually am not psychic. I just kept picking and picking. Obviously, the only way to progress forward is to predict the correct card pull, which was not happening for me. I guessed so many times incorrectly that it even started bothering Dr. Turner.
Think harder. You're trying too hard. Don't give yourself a headache.
It's random, John Hurt. What do you want from me? Michael pulls into the driveway with Jody's new dog.
She's beautiful. Jody will love her. Does she have a name?
Well, if she does, I don't know it.
Oh, Jody can name her. How cute. Don't you love her?
Yeah, she's cute.
The entire scene, Catherine is in the window looking down going, haha, yes, I'm so good. I forced you to buy a dog and I'm hot. Michael heads out to the back to build the tiniest, shittiest dog enclosure imaginable. And when he finally heads inside, he runs into a little bit of a problem with the new puppy dog.
Hey, No dogs on the bed in this house. Come on, you little mutt. Whoa. What's that? I rescued you from the pound, remember? You'll regret that.
Very normal behavior to vow vengeance on a 10-pound dog. Michael is irritated and searches around the house for Allison. He deduces that she must be in Catherine's room, and Catherine is shirtless. Catherine is like, shut the fuck up, man, we're meditating. Michael is annoyed at how much control Catherine has over the house. He figures that if she's going to be running everything and telling everybody what to do, that he can go ahead and go back to work. He calls his employer and tells him that he'll be in the next day. When Allison finally comes out of the room, he wants to know what the hell was going on with the whole shirtlessness situation, but he doesn't want to directly ask.
You know, I was looking for you earlier, but I guess you were in Catherine's room.
She's teaching me meditation.
What was it like?
It's wonderful.
No, I mean, what did you do?
We meditated.
Yeah, but what's meditation all about?
I didn't know you had such an interest in meditation, Mr. Overton.
I'm curious about a lot of things.
Perhaps you should try a session with me.
I don't think Michael's quite ready for that yet.
Once again, Michael feels excluded and condescended to. He tells Allison that he's going back to work, and she's like, good, haha, you need to get out of the house more, you kinda suck. He responds with, wow, okay, well, you'll have to fend for yourself then. To which, of course, she's like, no, I won't, I have Catherine. Obviously, this is a big shift emotionally from her being completely dependent on Michael to just not caring at all if he goes. Before the next session, Dr. Turner pops up and is literally like, hey, you know, that whole shirtless thing, you don't think Allison and Catherine are banging, do you?
I think I have a tumor somewhere in my head.
I think anyone that has listened to me talk for more than 5 minutes would agree with this statement, yes.
It is better never to deceive anyone.
I think that on rare occasion there's a place for small white lies. Or, you know, like magic tricks, that's deception.
I tend to be a person who reads manuals first.
If it's a cool manual in a big box game, then yeah, or if I'm building something. Otherwise, no.
Was Allison naked during her meditation session with Catherine?
Yes, we saw that she was at least shirtless.
Punky is a vicious little cur.
No, it's just a cute little dog in a brand new environment with a guy that was antagonizing it. Also, I forgot to mention that they named the dog Punky, which was the same name as Jodie's first dog.
Catherine is a wholesome person.
Nah. It's worth noting that sometimes around the house there's some kind of fucked up items, like this conveniently placed on the kitchen counter buckle up for safety pamphlet. Michael's journal for the day is a bit dark. He complains about the current happenings and then mentions that Dr. Turner has been urging him to go to a group therapy. The group session was held at an elementary school, and the children's drawings on the walls reminded him of Jodie, and it stopped him in his tracks to make him reconsider if he actually wanted to enter the room. Michael's writings are really full of very dark juxtaposition. One moment he's talking about how intriguing and colorful children's drawings can be, and the next it's very disturbing and profound grief. I used to stare at Jodie's drawings with awe. I used to wonder what she was thinking about at the time she did them. Why did she choose that particular color? What did they mean to her? I was so proud that she was my child because part of her thoughts and dreams came from me. I could hear the therapy group talking in the classroom. A woman was telling about her grief, how it was so overwhelming that it made her choke. She said she didn't want to speak to anyone. She couldn't even stand to have people look at her. She wanted to go to a desert island and be alone until she died. I stared at the drawings, then I walked down the dark hall and out of the building. This is the type of thing that makes Michael's notes the most interesting to me. He's constantly ping-ponging between accepting reality and being crushed by it. I think he's written pretty well to represent daily grief. You can go out there and face the real world and accept reality, but it's always there. He also mentions that he hates going to the pound because he feels terrible for all of the poor dogs there knowing their fate. He writes that when he asked Allison and Catherine about the meditation session, that he felt like Catherine looked at him like a cat that had eaten a canary. He then goes on to say that he's been having trouble sleeping, and that a crow woke him up that day fighting with a blue jay outside his window. This reminds him of an event that happened on his 10th birthday. His dad had bought him a .22 rifle, and he was very excited to have his first gun. Eagerly, he wandered off into the forest, determined to bring back a deer or rabbit as dinner for his family. After hours of searching, he couldn't find anything, and he felt defeated and humiliated. A crow landed on the branch above him and started to incessantly caw. He says that the sound was harsh and annoying, and it felt like the bird was mocking him. He screamed at the crow to get away, but it started cawing louder. Once again, Michael writes a lot of conflicting emotions. Suddenly, a strange fury overcame me. I felt my spine tingle. I grabbed the rifle and fired a shot at the animal. The crow let out a screech and fell to the ground at my feet. I was astonished. I had never fired a gun before. My first shot took that bastard down. Dad would be so proud. Then I realized with horror that the crow was still alive. Still alive, but terribly wounded. Suffering. I had shot him in the wing. He would never fly again. He was helpless. He hauled himself up and tried to flap his broken wing. He stared at me, his mouth open, and screamed. His black eyes were more piercing than anything I had ever seen. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't leave him there to suffer, to be attacked and eaten by some other animal. So I shot him again. This blew off part of his leg. He shrieked louder. A strange resentment for this creature started to overcome me. How dare it accuse me? How dare it make me feel guilty? I hadn't meant to hurt it. I was filled with a searing, hateful violence. I started beating him with the butt of the rifle. I beat him to a pulp in a wild, vicious tantrum. The .22 cracked and broke. I left them there, the gun and the crow, and I ran crying home. When I told my dad what had happened, he didn't say a word. He just shook his head. Just in that one random recollection, Michael tells us a story about how he felt rage, surprise, pride, horror, pity, resentment, guilt, and shame basically all at once. Michael is clearly someone who experiences turmoil internally while outwardly trying to maintain an image of normalcy. There's also a recurring theme of him tolerating emotions until he bursts, this story included. Checking in with Catherine, she has some interesting things to say about her visit with Dr. Turner.
I went to see Turner today. He didn't know I was coming. I wore a sexy dress as an extra surprise. Unbelievably, Michael barged into the room all in a huff over my treatment of Allison. Turner backed up what I'm doing, which made me feel really good. But when he gave me a ride back to the Evertons, he wouldn't stop talking about his marriage. I wish he wouldn't do that.
Most of Catherine's notes and personal diary are just about sexual encounters she's had or strange, perverted clients she's had to help. Her bedside book for the day is open to a chapter that graphically explains to you how do I say this in YouTube-friendly terms? Stick your finger in your man's ass? Allison's journal is short and sweet, but gives us some insight into what happened to Punky the First. I made pancakes and Michael decided that Jody should have a new dog. Jody's first dog ate slug poison and died a horrible death, and Jody decided to name her Punky. Catherine is my best friend in the world. Jody loves her too. Animal death seems to be a prevalent theme of this chapter of the game. It continues with today's radio episode with Dr. Betty. The entire game is getting more and more unhinged and disturbing.
Dr. Betty, my kitty cat died.
Your what?
She was sick, so old. 18, she was so thin. She died in my arms.
When did it die?
It was 3 months ago.
And you're still upset? Are you sure this is the real problem?
What do you mean?
I'm not sure the death of your kitty is the real problem here.
Well, what is it then?
Why don't you take a guess?
I can't.
Try for me.
Am I afraid of death?
I don't know. Is that it?
Am I afraid of losing people close to me? That might be it. I'm afraid of loss. I'm too attached, aren't I? I don't want to give up anything that I consider to be mine. The kitty cat was probably just a symbol of that attachment. She was really kind of an irritating little kitty anyway. Always meowing and scratching the furniture and peeing on the rug. Our house still smells bad, but I didn't want to let her go. She was so pretty and died so slowly. Why does everything I love have to die? Why? Why? Why does God have to be like that? I want to be a good person. I try to be a Christian, but I think you're onto something here. Kitty isn't really the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. Is that what you think?
Maybe, Sandy. Maybe you're right. Let's take a commercial break.
Books, poems, and art around the house all center around dealing with grief and are also kind of a downer. While exploring, you can bump into Michael and he has this to say.
Can you believe this? I mean, first the television, and then the goddamn dog. A dog. This is too much. My daughter's... she's dead. And my wife just can't... she can't accept it. I thought when Catherine got here we'd get rid of these fantasies, but this is just ridiculous. I hope things would get better, but they're just getting worse. A lot worse.
The next test from Dr. Turner is also themed around animals.
What is Sparky doing?
Yeah, I don't know, digging for a bone.
Why is Sparky licking himself?
Itchy, probably?
How does Sparky feel about his little brother Yippy?
He doesn't feel anything for Yippy.
Sparky makes a sound like yummers. What is going on here?
Sparky is dreaming about hurting Yippy, for whom he feels nothing. Back at work, Michael calls home several times throughout the day to check in on Allison and make sure she's okay. He asks for Catherine to confirm that she's alright as well. They tell him to stop worrying so much and he agrees to call less. When work is over, Allison is busy in the kitchen. She tells Michael to go upstairs to look at what amazing things Catherine has done to Jody's room. In the room, the TV is on and toys are scattered all around as if a child was really living there. Disturbed by this, he goes to talk to Catherine immediately, but she doesn't answer, so he opens the door himself and whoopsie doodle, meditation memories. Michael takes a little dip in the pool to, cool off. And later, Catherine lectures him about drinking alcohol before bed. He gets annoyed by this and is like, fuck you, I'm an adult and I can do what I want and I'm annoyed that you're always right because you're a nurse. Then proceeds to immediately get fucking owned by his drink. The next morning, Michael is quite groggy. Punky is barking incessantly, and Allison is being a little annoying as well.
It's time you are up and on your way.
Shut that dog up.
You should have listened to us. Too much alcohol.
Shut up!
Before leaving for work, a few more things happen to irritate Michael, but the most important thing of the morning is Allison making a request right as he's about to go.
Oh, Michael, I need you to pick up some things for Jody's party.
What party?
Next week. It's her birthday. Catherine suggested that we have a party. Can you believe it? She's gonna be 6 years old. I need pin the tail on the donkey and invitations.
You're inviting other people?
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be a party without guests now, would it?
I guess not.
At work, Michael tries to call Dr. Turner to discuss the party, but he's apparently currently out of town. Michael starts being very mean to all of his coworkers because he's overwhelmed. Since he can't get a hold of Dr. Turner, he tells Catherine that she needs to discuss the party with him personally, telling her that it's going way too far. Conveniently, she says that there's only one time during the day that she'll have to discuss this with him.
During your meditation. Fine. Tonight. 5:45.
With that, it's time to discuss with Dr. Turner what the hell has been going on.
The party thing seems a little risky to me. Of course, they'll have to cancel, and that might be quite a disappointment for Allison. On the other hand, maybe she's preparing Allison for future disappointments.
Catherine intended for Michael to see her undressed.
At other times, yes, but this particular one, it's not her fault that he opened the door.
I rarely pass up an unexpected opportunity to do something exciting.
True, usually.
Men who perform oral sex on a woman are...
not DJ Khaled.
Traveling without a map is...
a disaster. I hate it. Don't ever do that with me. I love maps. I love certainty.
I have made love out of doors.
We've been over this. I'd leave my house for very few reasons.
I wouldn't mind having Catherine live in my home.
She's cooking and cleaning and shit, and all I gotta do is look at a boob every now and again. That sounds like a good deal to me. Catherine writes in her diary that she had a dream about Allison getting caught in a berry bramble where her skin is pierced by thorns. For some reason, this progresses to Catherine and Michael banging while eating berries off of the floor together. In her audio log, she mentions liking that Michael saw her breasticles when he opened the door. Catherine is in the kids' room where you can bump into her drawing in a style that mimics Jody's. The rest of her updates for the day are basically that she's panicking that Michael is going to kick her out if she frustrates him too much. She plans on doing something about this at the meditation session.
I've got to do something. He's getting frustrated to the point where he might actually ask me to leave. And I can't let that happen. This case is far too important.
Michael's journals are increasingly depressing. He recalls seeing Jody crushed, broken, and dead at the hospital, knowing that he couldn't blame anyone for the accident but himself. He writes that he took her hand into his and wished away her death with all his heart. Then for a moment, he almost considers being more like Allison in a way. He says that he used to tell Jody stories every night and questions if it would be sick to tell her a story now and pretend that she was there. He concludes that yes, he does in fact think it would be sick. Then he starts rambling on about how he heard a strangling sound coming from Jody's room, and to this day he cannot decide if he thought it was real or not. I think Michael might be losing his shit. Dr. Turner's questions, answers, and images all start to get a bit darker as well.
How does this image make you feel?
And then, before you know it, it's meditation o'clock. Catherine tells Michael that she's going to teach him how to meditate. And just to point out something that I think is really cool that this scene does, the entire intro to the scene is very quiet. As soon as Catherine mentions Michael being stressed, the dog starts barking in the background.
You've been through a great deal of stress lately.
Michael tells Catherine point blank that he has a problem with supporting Allison's delusions. Catherine rebuttals, saying that she's not supporting the delusion, she's supporting Allison. Then she says that if it wasn't for her, one of them would eventually break down. Michael is kind of like, the fuck you mean one of us? Obviously it would be Allison.
One of us.
Don't think you're immune. Allison suffers openly. You contain it.
Well, I don't think you can compare my mental state with Allison's.
Anyway, where's Allison now? She's up and about. She's working around the house. She's off drugs completely.
I agree. She's functioning better. But we're getting deeper and deeper into this fantasy, and I'm just afraid that she's gonna lose her whole grip on reality altogether.
Michael pushes back and says that they can't just go on pretending Jody is alive forever, and asks what the end game of going along with the delusion is.
We end by reliving the tragedy.
What do you mean?
One night, the accident must happen again.
You don't mean we drive back to the same spot?
No. I mean, we describe it to her, make her remember. But not until we've laid a foundation of acceptance.
Essentially, Catherine wants Allison to relive the accident, but this time in a way that she's prepared to accept reality. Michael seems like he accepts the plan a little bit better, knowing that there is an end goal, but he feels like it's too risky. He really doesn't want Allison to be hurt. Catherine insists that he come tomorrow to have an actual meditation session and reminds him to come alone for some reason. Allison is comforted by memories of Jody and the things that make it seem like she's still real and still there. However, for Michael, these things disturb him. That night on his way to bed, he checks into the room and sees something that to him is quite ominous. Dr. Turner pops up to throw in his 2 cents and basically says that he thinks that Catherine is a genius.
Do you think it'll work?
People who have sex in the dark are...
I guess embarrassed. Why would you ask me this out of nowhere, Dr. Turner? Bro has no chill.
I wouldn't mind somebody spying on me while I was in the bedroom.
I genuinely don't think I've ever answered false to a question this quickly in my entire life.
I like surprises.
Sometimes.
If I received a lot of money, the first thing I would do is...
immediately invest and put it into a high-yield savings account, duh.
I have hardly ever fantasized about having sex with animals.
Man, what the fuck? Who is writing these questions? That is foul. Bumping into Allison, she goes on a rant about how much she loves Michael, but she wishes that he was in touch with his spiritual side. She says that he's a goober that can only believe in things that he can see and touch, and that she wishes he'd open up more to spiritual things.
Maybe Catherine will do it. She certainly did it for me. I think I'll go make something special for dinner, because if he's anything like me, Michael will be really hungry after a session with Catherine.
Man, this whole game is getting fucking sus. Allison writes in her journal that she thinks Jody will have fun wheeling around in her brand new wheelchair, and literally all I can think about is that scene in Mac and Me. I am a terrible person. Speaking of terrible people, what kind of guest does Dr. Betty have today?
Dr. Betty. Hello?
Dr. Betty.
Karen, are you on the line?
I'm here, Dr. Betty. I need your advice.
Karen, you're going to have to speak up.
I can't. He might be listening.
Who?
Henry, my husband. He's always spying on me. He thinks I'm having an affair with my boss. Every night he goes through my hamper to see if I've been cheating on him.
Are you cheating on him with your boss?
Well, no. But I am doing something secret.
What are you doing, Karen?
I have a secret life.
What kind of secret life?
It started a couple of years ago. A girlfriend of mine got me into it. It was so thrilling. I couldn't stop myself. I knew what I was doing was wrong and that it might hurt him, but...
Are you doing drugs, Karen?
Oh, no. Nothing like that.
Gambling?
No. I'd never do that. I'm a prostitute.
Oh my God!
Henry?
Oh my God!
Is there somebody else on the line?
Henry, are you on the phone?
Oh my God!
Henry, where are you?
I'm in the basement. Oh my God!
Henry, I can't believe you're listening in on my phone calls.
I can't believe I'm listening to your phone calls. I can't believe I'm married to a hooker. Oh my God!
Dr. Betty, I think I'd better call back later. Henry, you sneaky little rat!
The next interactive portion requires you to cross your eyes until the two images come together to make a 3D image. I am blind as a fucking bat and it did not work for me, but maybe it'll work for you guys.
I don't like to dream.
False dreams are cool.
Little boys should be encouraged to play with dolls.
I don't know about encouraging it, just let them pick their toys themselves. Whatever toy they pick is fine with me.
If I had voices telling me to do bad things, I would definitely take prescription drugs to make them go away.
I would, that sounds unpleasant.
I like guns.
Yeah, sure, but also I wish less people used them inappropriately, so I don't know.
I would like to be given a sponge bath.
Not even a little bit. That sounds awkward.
I have dreams that I am sinking to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, I do actually.
I like hitting things.
Nah.
I'm afraid of getting hurt.
Yeah.
If I were a flea, I would be a miserable, depressed flea.
What? I mean, yeah, I would be. I don't think I'd be much different as a flea. Ayo. At work, Michael is bum-rushed by a coworker who suddenly asks him this.
Did you and Allison decide to adopt another child?
Why do you ask?
The lady explains that she knows that it's none of her business, but that she saw Allison pushing a child in a wheelchair the other day. She says that she just wanted to tell them how happy she was for them and that she thinks it's a wonderful idea after everything they've been through. Michael is disturbed by the thought of other people seeing Allison pushing the wheelchair around. He ponders this. When Michael gets home, Allison shows him the picture Catherine drew to look like one of Jody's. She says that she's so excited because it means Jody is improving. Michael tries to gently push back, telling her that maybe it's just an older drawing that was mixed up with the others and they just hadn't seen it yet. Allison insists that it's current because it's clearly a drawing of Punky 2. He heads upstairs for his second attempt at meditation. Catherine brags about how well she was able to imitate Jody's art style and then tells him to sit down for a massage. But he experiences a lot of difficulty relaxing.
What are you afraid of?
I don't know. You, I guess.
Then exactly what you think is probably going to happen happens, and I can't show most of the scene. At times, I was genuinely shocked just how much this game actually shows. The scene is quite long and incredibly graphic. Luckily for you, I can show you Catherine licking Michael's nose. I just want to mention that based on your answers, this scene actually changes quite a bit. The more you answer like a degenerate, the more graphic the scene gets. There are multiple different versions of this scene, but in every version there is the nose licking, meaning the director stood there like this. Yeah, we do need you to lick his nose again. It's for the plot. At some point, Catherine mentions Allison, and it snaps Michael back into reality.
Should have never done this. I should have never came in here. Jesus. Poor Alice.
Dr. Turner is so shocked by what he's just witnessed that he nearly just walks right back off screen.
This is completely out of hand. Of course, we've all heard stories of therapists and doctors sleeping with their patients, but this is so... Well, sleeping with the patient's spouse?
He's quite pissed about the unprofessional behavior, especially since he's the one that employs Catherine.
I mean, I'm the one who gave her the break. I hoped to get her license, for Christ's sake. I cared about her. And this is how she repays me. Just what the hell is going on here?
Sometimes I wish I was a member of the opposite sex.
I mean, usually no, but I'm not gonna lie to you. When I'm on a long road trip and I gotta pee, I've thought about it.
I would most like to have a dream where I am...
flying.
Should Michael confess his infidelity to Allison?
Do the time, do the crime. Oh, wait, no, I mean, do the crime, do the time. I have one brain cell. I feel like now would be a really good time to hear from Dr. Betty, but alas.
The Dr. Betty Show will be back after these messages. In the meantime, go out and get a life.
Catherine pulls up and is like,
Oh, what are you looking at me like that for? I had to do it. I really had no choice. He was gonna fire me, I could tell. And if his wife is ever gonna get better, it'll only happen if I stay. I'm her only hope, and he was on the verge of taking that hope away. You think it was wrong, don't you?
I mean, yeah, kinda. When Michael finally heads downstairs after the, meditation, Catherine starts talking about it in front of Allison in the most passive-aggressive way imaginable.
Meditation can be physically exhausting.
Oh, I find it to be quite the opposite.
Well, maybe Michael's different. He really worked hard at it.
Allison starts discussing Jody's schooling and how the accident has caused her to fall behind. Of course, Catherine has mentioned that she would be a fantastic and qualified tutor.
It's an additional duty. We'll have to pay her more.
Of course.
This means that she'll be with us a while longer. A lot longer, I hope.
No, thank you. No, I don't want to meditate, thank you.
Michael hypes himself up to go tell Catherine off, but on his way upstairs, he gets distracted by Allison, who's wearing a tight white tank top with her, with her headlights on, if you catch my drift. And eventually, though, he does make it up to Catherine.
What happened in here last night, it sickens me.
Is that a fact?
Yes, it's a fact. And I don't intend for it to happen again.
He tells Catherine that she's fired. He's going to pay her for 2 more weeks, and then she has to leave.
Does Allison know about this?
Allison is in no condition to make such decisions.
And you are?
What is that supposed to mean?
Catherine goes full gloves off and kind of freaks the fuck out about all of this.
I have no intention on leaving like that.
I don't care.
I do.
Catherine lectures Michael for a while that if he really cared about Allison at all, he wouldn't try to remove the one thing in her life that's moving her towards being healthy again. She tries to guilt trip him, saying that he's selfish. He's selfish for cheating on Allison, and he's selfish for wanting her to leave purely because he feels guilty about not being able to control himself.
It's not true.
Isn't it?
And then there's another scene that I absolutely cannot show on YouTube. Later, Michael gets curious again about Allison's meditation. You know, what with how his sessions are going.
Allison, just what do you do in your meditation?
The same thing as you, Michael.
Really? Tell me about it.
What do you mean?
I mean, describe what you do.
Why should I describe something that you already know about?
I thought maybe we'd compare notes.
If you want to know, just describe to me what you do, and I'll tell you if I do anything different.
Forget about it. I'm not gonna do it anymore anyway.
Honestly, kinda suspicious answer. Anyway, Catherine comes in and they both start bullying him about how awesome meditation is and that he's weird for not liking it. He gets more and more annoyed until the dog starts barking.
Damn dog, I swear to God I'm gonna kill it one of these days.
Nobody gives half a fuck that Michael is crashing out. Catherine immediately demands that he go and get pizza, but not just any pizza, pizza from a very specific restaurant.
It's 20 miles away.
We'll warm it up when you get back.
I'm not driving into Ashland tonight.
It's been a long time since Jody's had a slice of pizza.
She's right, Michael. Jody asked for the pizza.
All right.
Catherine seems to have fully realized that if she wants something, she can just pin it on Jody and get whatever she wants. Dr. Turner seems to think that Michael secretly hopes Allison is doing the same thing as him during her meditation so that he can feel less guilty.
Do you agree with Catherine that Michael is acting with extreme selfishness?
Yes, but so is Catherine. In fact, it kind of feels like everybody is. In his office, Michael goes on a rant about how much he hates Catherine, but also, you know, she's a little bit hot. Genuinely, he's like, she's so fucking hot. What am I supposed to do about her tits, not look at them?
Now I gotta go get a fucking pizza.
In a new journal entry from Michael, he mentions that his dad loved Jody more than he ever loved him. In a strange way, because Michael had created her, it made his father respect him a little bit. You can imagine how this plays into his emotions considering the accident.
We have Alan on the air. Hello, Alan.
Hi, Dr. Betty. Thanks for taking my call.
What's going on, Alan?
Alan tells Dr. Betty in a very long, drawn-out way that he's cheating on his wife with someone from his office. When Dr. Betty asks why, he says that he simply dislikes everything about her. The way she looks, smells, talks, everything.
Everything about her. I hate her guts.
Then why don't you get divorced? It's pretty simple.
I can't divorce her.
Why?
I'm a strict Roman Catholic.
You can't divorce your wife, but you can cheat on her? Commit adultery with another woman? Alan, I think you're a hypocrite.
Yeah. Well, probably. So what do you think I should do?
Will you really listen to me if I tell you?
Yes, I respect your opinion.
If you're going to live by a set of rules, you can't just pick and choose the ones that suit you. You are married. According to your religious beliefs, you are committing a heinous sin. That's the way it is. You're stuck, Alan. You're going to have to stop seeing this other woman.
That's just what Father Francis said.
Well, he's right. So what are you going to do, Alan?
Well, I think I'm going to get another opinion.
Why did you even call? You knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, I know.
You're a worm, Alan.
I know.
A worm.
Well, I'd rather be a happy worm, though, than a miserable worm.
Goodbye, Alan.
Allison's note says maybe Michael is ready now. Ever since the accident, he's had trouble, but Catherine thinks he's ready. It's the guilt. Punky is barking again. Her bark really gets on my nerves, but Michael and Jody love that little dog. I guess I love her too. On Allison's recorder, she spends some time practicing saying, Daddy. No, I'm not kidding. She just practices saying daddy in different tones for a while.
Daddy, promise me. Promise me you won't make me leave. Don't send me away, Daddy. Promise me, Daddy.
Wet t-shirts are...
Awesome! Who doesn't love a fun day at the beach?
I wish I was a baby again.
Nah, man, I like being able to eat Wingstop.
The smell of coconut lotion makes me...
nostalgic.
Women who don't shave their armpits are...
just like me for real.
At least once, I have stared in awe at a horse's penis.
I would like Steam to refund me for this game for making me hear John Hurt say that.
This photograph...
It's obviously humorous. Look at it, it's hilarious. Why is John Hurt asking me about horse dongs and hot dogs? Once again, we encounter a scene that I cannot show here. However, this time, it's Allison doing some squat thrusts in the cucumber patch. She explains that Catherine has been encouraging her to do this to take control. But then, for some reason, Catherine just sticks her big fat head into the door and is like, uh-oh, Jody is crying. Guess you didn't hear her. Michael gets up to check on Jody, and this is easily the most uncomfortable scene in the game.
Daddy, I'm scared.
Do this.
Daddy,
Please.
don't leave me.
Stop it.
Don't send me away, Daddy.
The next morning, Allison is preparing a luxurious breakfast for Catherine, demanding that Michael, quote, be her waiter and bring it to her. She also tells him that he needs to go out of town to the store again.
What for?
Catherine needs some organic herbal shampoo. I couldn't find it anywhere else.
Jesus.
Michael.
Michael brings up the breakfast but confronts her frame one.
Why did you do it?
Do what?
Pretend you were Jody. It was horrible.
Allison benefited from it greatly. She needed to hear you talk to Jody like that. You've been ignoring her lately.
Michael gets pissed off and tells Catherine again that she'll have to leave.
Do you really want me to leave, Michael?
This prompts her to try and seduce him once again. However, he actually manages to get his shit together and resist this time. And oh my god, this scene is quite something if you get the NSFW version. I know that it probably shouldn't be, but that reaction was so funny. Me when a pesky blonde woman licks my windows. The alternate version of this scene is especially funny because she just plaps her pepperonis right up against the glass. Completely enraged, Michael storms into a phone booth. You see, because this is the 90s and no one has cell phones. He tries to call Dr. Turner, but he's still out of town. He demands the answering service put him through to Mrs. Greenstreet, but they're like, nah, dude, you need to chill. And then this guy appears.
Need some help, sir?
You know Mrs. Greenstreet works for Dr. Turner?
Huh?
I didn't think so. I have to get some organic herbal shampoo.
If you look closely, you'll notice that this guy is wearing an 11th hour shirt, which is very cool.
Once in a while, I just burst into tears for no good reason.
No, never. It's always for a good reason.
Sometimes I'm amused by stories of criminals who get away with crimes and become famous.
Nah, if they're hurting people, it actually kind of pisses me off.
While making love to Michael, whom was Allison most interested in pleasing?
I'm going to say Catherine because she immediately after was like, Catherine put me up to this. I did it for Catherine. I don't know why the fuck Dr. Turner is an option here. That's what do you have to do with this, man?
If I saw even a photograph of a snake when I was a child, I would break out into a cold sweat.
Not even a little bit. I was a little tomboy kid that grew up on a dairy farm. I see a non-venomous snake, frog, or tarantula, it's getting picked up. Catherine's update is just more of the same. She's never going to give up. She thinks Michael sucks and goes so far as to claim that he clearly does not love Allison, he only loves himself. Then on a recorder, there's this.
I wish that dog would stop barking.
But like, who the hell is that? That is not Punky barking. Perhaps it is a metaphor for Michael constantly trying to nag her? Follow me for more high school English class theories. Alright, and let's just check on Allison's journal real quick. I felt powerful, like I had total control over him. I like that feeling. I was on top. I did this special thing that Catherine told me about with those muscles down there, and it was, oh good heavens. Alan, the previous caller on Dr. Betty, is apparently found out by his wife. She sends the radio station a fax and is like, hey idiot, I heard what you said. I'm taking all of your money, bye. Taking a look into Michael's journal to get his internal thoughts about the current events, well, let's just say he's not particularly happy that Catherine pretended to be Jody. Not happy at all. In fact, he states that he could have just killed her right there and smashed her head against the wall.
What does Kitty Cat have in her belly?
Presumably cat chow, and oh come on, does even the cartoon cat require a blockatile?
What should Mama Bear do when Baby Bear goes caca?
Beat him mercilessly. I'm kidding, change him.
Is Mr. Roo in pain?
Shit, even his tail's got a crutch. That is a smile of a man on painkillers.
How do you feel about going to the doctor?
Hate it.
Should somebody warn the kids about the rickety slide?
Nah, don't worry about it. Let them learn a life lesson. On this day, Michael comes home and Allison is crying hysterically in the front yard with Catherine trying to calm her.
You didn't do it, did you?
Do what?
Because if you did such a thing...
What did I do? What is she talking about?
Jody's dog.
What about the dog?
She's dead.
Michael, she was poisoned. Rat poison.
So Punky 1 died of snail poison and Punky 2 died of rat poison. Maybe no more dogs for you people.
Please do something with the poor thing before it starts to smell.
Michael digs the dog a grave by the side of the pond. Michael checks the dog bowl inside of the kennel. He finds some white tablets mixed in with the food that do appear to be rat poison. He picks up poor little Punky and takes him over to the grave.
She's right about one thing, Punky. You are beginning to smell.
Perplexed by the sudden loss of Punky, Michael heads into the house to investigate. At first, he doesn't find anything unusual, but notes that they do have rat poison stored in the basement. He looks down and notices some muddy footprints. But it's not just normal mud, the prints are ominously red. He returns to the basement and takes a look at the floor, which is a powdery red clay. It dawns on him that anyone that could have killed Punky must have red clay on the bottoms of their shoes. He immediately heads upstairs to Catherine's closet.
Returning to the scene of all your crimes?
No, it's more like the scene of your crime.
Really?
You killed the dog.
Is that what you're doing, planting rat poison in my closet? Is that what you have behind your back?
No. You went down in the basement and you got the poison yourself.
Really?
And this proves it.
It does?
You see, they're covered in red clay from the basement floor. Wait till Allison sees this.
Sees what?
This is proof you killed the dog.
Don't be ridiculous.
What are you doing?
Incredibly, suddenly undressing is a lot less effective from a known dog killer. Michael tells her that he's going to go tell Allison and show her the shoes.
A pair of shoes you took out of my closet and pressed into the basement floor?
No.
Catherine says she'll simply tell Allison that Michael set her up and that he obviously is the one that killed the dog.
I didn't kill that dog. You did! You did!
Catherine is like, yeah, I don't know if she's gonna believe that. You're the one that was always yelling at the dog and threatening it for barking.
I want you out of here!
Dr. Turner speculates on the motives of each character for killing the dog. Michael obviously was annoyed by it and once threatened it, but
Why would Catherine kill the dog?
maybe Catherine set the entire thing up to turn Allison against Michael. Then Dr. Turner throws in a wild card. He's like, what if Allison killed the dog? Which sounds ridiculous, but she is the one that's obviously having some delusions.
I would describe Catherine's behavior as,
I ain't gonna lie to you, she's kind of insane.
in my opinion, Punky was a...
Unfortunate victim.
I would describe Michael's behavior as...
Desperate, I suppose?
Sometimes, I wish I was a little kid again.
I mean, sometimes it kind of fucking ruled not having to pay bills. Catherine's diary entry is short, sweet, and needlessly menacing. It simply says, Michael is unraveling, which must be true because my God, he's making typos in his personal diary.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
I thought my husband was the type of person to know the difference between your and your.
Oh, please, Mary. Get a grip. You were shacked up with a drunk, and now he's left you for a younger woman.
But
That's the reality of it. There's not much point in trying to analyze what happened. You've got to play the cards that were dealt to you. You have to take action to move ahead.
I loved him so much.
But why? Why would you love a bum?
A bum.
This guy was a bum.
That's what he is. A bum.
Is a bum. Humans have the ability to override their feelings. Override your feeling, Mary. Please. Now go out and get yourself a damn wife.
In Michael and Allison's bedroom, there's a crumpled up, burnt note in front of the fireplace. It's not intended to be fully made out, but it says something to the effect of, it is in the basement, in with blank, it is odorless, a something something, just a couple pieces, make sure that something something. Kinda suspicious. I don't think Michael would have written out a plan like this because he wasn't colluding with anyone. There was nothing for him to plan out. If he killed the dog, it would have been a spur of the moment, rage over barking type of thing, I imagine. Plus, we did watch him discover the poison in the clay in the basement.
My memories of Christmas are...
wonderful.
Sometimes, when I wait for a long time in a line, I want to lash out and hurt somebody.
I mean, my initial reaction, of course, was to say no to this, but then I remembered my experience at Anime Expo 2017 in Los Angeles, and, I mean, I kinda get it.
Is it a good idea to let repairmen into your house?
How else they supposed to fix my shit?
I am an unimportant person.
Excessively true.
I am overcome by waves of nausea.
Once in a while, I like to make myself nauseous with overthinking. It's a little hobby of mine.
Are you afraid of getting botulism?
Yes, oh my god. Speaking of overthinking, I genuinely am. Botulism is scary. You seen the deer and the ducks that get botulism? It's fucked up. Catherine notices that Michael has been drinking pretty often lately and tells him it's not good. Also, her nip-nops are trying to reach out to you through the screen, but don't worry, this trusty Blockateel is here to protect you. She tells him that he has to admit to Allison that he killed the dog.
I didn't kill the dog. You did.
The dog is dead. And Allison is dangerously upset. You've got to do something about it.
God, I hate you.
You hate yourself.
Catherine really starts laying it on Michael, telling him that because of his guilt, there's probably something in him that wants Allison to remain in her delusional state. So long as she thinks Jody is alive, she can't blame him.
Tell me about the accident. Tell me the details.
No, leave me alone.
You were driving the car. You were going too fast.
No.
Well, the police report says you were. You couldn't negotiate the turn, but you should have. You'd driven that road so many times before.
It was raining.
And Jody didn't have on her seatbelt because you didn't insist.
But you wore one. You saved yourself by wearing it.
It's not true.
Of course it's true.
I don't remember.
Well, Allison remembers. You think she's forgotten, but she remembers everything.
She told Jody to put it on, but Jody started to cry.
And you said that it would be all right.
Get away from me. Get out of my house.
Why were you driving so fast?
I wasn't.
She'd still be alive. Just a little seatbelt and her head wouldn't have smashed against that windshield.
Stop it, please stop it.
Catherine point blank tells Michael that his actions caused such a horrific reality that Allison can't even bear to live in it. He screams to deny the accusation and then gets up and calmly walks outside. He walks until the grief catches up with him and he collapses onto the grass. As usual, Dr. Turner suddenly interrupts with the strangest questions.
I hate everyone in my family.
Not even a little bit, man.
Was it appropriate for Catherine to confront Michael with his guilt?
The way that she did it was very cruel, but I mean, reality is reality.
Catherine has a vindictive streak.
Obviously.
Michael certainly loved Jody.
Based on his reactions and extreme guilt, I mean, yeah, I would say so.
If somebody was threatening me, I would
run away because I hate conflict.
I would never step on a crack.
I am not superstitious. The story is finally starting to move towards its climax, and here we get the final radio call with Dr. Betty. A guy named Tony calls in saying that he begged and pleaded desperately with his wife to include a third person in their adult activities. They found a woman named Amanda to join them, and at first, everything went great.
I mean, she and Amanda did this one thing with maple syrup and a ping pong ball that was...
So, what's the problem, Tony?
However, over time, Amanda and his wife started not really needing him anymore. They moved into a different apartment together and stopped wanting Tony to come around at all.
Yeah, but I think it's just a phase.
How long have you been separated?
3 years now.
I don't think it's a phase, Tony.
So what do I do?
Go out and get a life.
Allison leaves a note that says Punky ate poison just like the first Punky, and Jody has been crying all day and Michael and Catherine have been fighting. Catherine wants Michael to go right out and get another dog, but Michael thinks that we should wait, and the next dog must stay inside at all times. We'll get a nice muzzle for her so that she can't eat anything bad and nothing bad will happen. I love you, Jody. Michael's journal is of course full of guilt and a graphic recalling of the accident, but there's one other thing he mentions that seems irrelevant, but it isn't. Mind you, going forward, that this is a random paragraph in a random journal entry among dozens. We'll get to it a little bit later. Michael writes about a time where his friend Mark took him up a mountain to a beautiful meadow. Mark mentions that if he were to choose, that this is where he'd want to die. Michael tells him that his grandpa once taught him to listen to the heartbeat of the earth and then shows him how to do it. Together they press their heads into the grass and quietly wait, eventually hearing the rhythm of the earth. Michael says that it's something that he always wanted to show Jody, but he never got the chance. Michael comes in from his breakdown outside, covered in mud and just generally looking a mess. Catherine and Allison insist that he go upstairs and apologize for murdering the dog. He tells them over and over that he didn't do it, but eventually caves and is like, you know what, I didn't do it, but fine, I'll go tell Jody I'm sorry about Punky. He kinda gives the vibes that he's about to crash out, and going upstairs does not help this. Catherine and Allison are like, yo, what the fuck was that noise? Then, in spite of Michael having just fallen down the stairs, they both just start telling him how he looks awful and is being weird. Catherine suggests that he needs help, and Allison wholeheartedly agrees.
You're a mess.
She's not right. She's vicious and cruel, and you gotta stop listening to her!
Catherine is like, no, really, dude, I think you need help. You should probably go see Dr. Turner. In the dead of night, Michael gets up and heads to Dr. Turner's office. Michael sleeps in the parking lot overnight until Mrs. Greenstreet shows up.
Greenstreet! It's just me.
It's just the funniest scene. Greenstreet! What are you looking at me like that for? Why are you startled? Anyway, Michael demands to see Dr. Turner. Mrs. Greenstreet explains that he's been away because his brother passed away and he won't be back for several more days. She offers the services of another doctor, but Michael insists that that won't help. He then demands that she take him inside and that she help him.
I don't know what I can do. I'm just manning the office.
Let's go in there now!
Mrs. Greenstreet expresses that she doesn't understand how she's supposed to help. Michael says that he knows that Catherine is technically employed by another clinic. He wants her to call them and cancel Catherine's services, to which she says she doesn't have the authority. She's just the front desk lady.
Well, isn't that a coincidence?
The phone number is in Dr. Turner's office, so Michael forces her to go in and get it. He says that he'll call them and cancel these services himself.
Dr. Turner isn't going to like this.
I don't give a damn. Don't you understand what I've been going through? I want Mrs. Randolph out of my house, and if he won't help me, I'll do it myself.
While Mrs. Greenstreet dials the facility, Michael goes on a crash-out rant about how he believes Dr. Turner and Catherine are in on all of this together, and that he now believes psychiatry as a whole is just a practice created to prey on the weakness of vulnerable people.
He would like to speak with you about Mrs. Randolph.
This is Michael Overton. Catherine Randolph is doing a terrible job, and I want her out. I know she's very qualified. You don't know what kind of a person she is. What would she do? Well, she killed my dog, for one thing, and she blamed it on me. Yes, she did. And she sent me out for pizza and organic herbal shampoo.
Yeah, you tell him, Michael. That'll convince them that you're not crazy. He screams that Catherine hasn't helped Allison one bit and that they need to remove her from his home.
Well, now that that's over with, I can apologize for barging in like this. Sorry, but I had to do it this way. Later, when Dr. Turner learns everything, you'll understand.
For your sake and your poor wife's sake, I hope you're right.
Once again, the TV in Dr. Turner's office does something strange if you watch it long enough. A black and white show goes on for quite a while, but if you stick around, suddenly it changes to Allison going on about how Jody is upset about the dog dying.
Catherine explained to her that dogs and cats sometimes get into poisons and they eat them and they die. It happens all the time.
Allison continues on and she's very positive about everything. She thinks that things are going great. She talks about how she was lonely and scared when Michael was gone overnight, but the wonderful Catherine brought Jody's body to her to make her feel safe.
Did you hear that? It was Jody singing. I'm sure of it. Can you imagine? I've got to go now. It's all working out, isn't it? Bye.
Even stranger yet, as soon as TV Allison leaves the frame, the channel suddenly cuts to two nurses making out, and this actually goes on for several minutes if you let it, and it's a full-blown graphic adult scene. There are some implications throughout the game that maybe Dr. Turner and Catherine are involved with each other, and I think that maybe these weird videos of nurses on his TV coming up are maybe a nod to that. But like, it's so ominous and it's kind of scary how you have to wait around for it to just come up. Like, it doesn't just show you this. I don't know, this game is weird and it has a very strange atmosphere. There's also a lot more Dr. Turner questions that I'm just not including. I think you get the idea of what kind of questions the game asks. And that moves us into the grand finale. Based on how the player has answered so far, scenes will have been different up until this point, but the main differences lie in the endings. Around here is where we start to see the endings branching off. Michael laughs as he drives home, quite confident that he's finally vanquished Catherine.
Honey, I'm home.
Michael, something terrible has happened.
Oh, what is it, honey?
Catherine's clinic called and told her she had to return to Portland right away.
Oh, that's too bad.
Right off the bat, Allison is extremely distressed that Catherine is packing her bags to leave. Michael heads upstairs to have his final confrontation with her. She insists that she needs to have one last session with Allison.
No more sessions. I want you to leave this house like you're supposed to.
Oh, I'm leaving. But not until my job's done.
Oh, it's done. It's over. It's bye-bye time.
She has to be made to recall that when you crashed the car, Jody's head smashed into the windshield and she died instantly.
No!
Michael is confused as to how Catherine could possibly plan on reenacting Jody's accident so quickly before she leaves.
Allison's transformed Jody into the doll. She even slept with it last night.
She takes him to Jody's room to show him what she's done with the doll.
Oh my God.
It's good, isn't it? I found that sledgehammer and red paint in the basement. It's quite realistic, don't you think?
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but no, not really. Michael stands there like a dumbstruck idiot instead of doing literally anything. Clearly, a lot of this is just vindictive on Catherine's part and not necessarily in Allison's best interest. Catherine seems to think if she doesn't bring her to reality before she leaves, that no one else can. Realistically, if treatment isn't working with one therapist, you would try another. It's not like Catherine is the only human on the planet that could possibly help, but she seems to think she is. She goes to show Allison, and Michael's like, no, please, you can't do this.
You do it. You show her what you did.
No, please!
Catherine takes the doll to the stairs and starts yelling down to Allison about what really happened.
This is what really happened that night in the car. You've been living with a lie too long, and Michael has...
Michael stares at Catherine's bloodied body in disbelief for a moment before resuming getting her out of the house.
So, you're leaving. I'll get your bags.
Betwixt the trees near the serene pond, once again Michael finds himself digging a grave. Gleefully, he informs the little dog Punky that she'll be having company. Which is kind of ironic because she's probably the one that killed her, but I mean, I don't know, maybe it's kind of left open to the viewer's interpretation. Who do you think killed Punky? Michael scuttles along, dragging Catherine's body, kind of walking like a little penguin. Look at him go. The body gets dragged over to the grave, and of course Michael has to be cheesy about it.
Oh, your taxi's here. Let me help you in. Now don't let him overcharge you. Let me get the door.
Michael heads back into the house and tells Allison that he sent Catherine away in a taxi. Here, the story really starts to frame Michael as a mean, selfish person, and look, I know he just murdered somebody, but we're gonna ignore that for a second, okay? For the most part, you know, aside from a little bit of murder, I think that he has the best intentions for Allison. But suddenly the game just starts going like, he sabotaged Catherine because he wants to take over Allison's life and control her.
I guess you were right all along. We never really needed her.
And I just don't think that this is a fair framing because I didn't get this vibe from him from most of the game. You know, the way I'm looking at it, he's the one that called the doctor in the first place. He put up with a lot of bullshit with Catherine and tried to be understanding. And while there is a part of him that doesn't want Allison to have to face the reality of the actions he took that led to the accident, he never rejected Catherine's plan of letting her relive it. He didn't want her to do it in a harsh, cruel way, but he never rejected the idea overall. So I guess I'm just a big fat Michael apologist. In my opinion, Catherine is the worst, although all of these characters are pretty flawed. Like, this ending even goes so far as to imply that Michael is deliberately going back to the schedule that kind of forces her to be catatonic.
How would you like it if I cooked you dinner?
You decide, Michael. I'm not good at that sort of thing.
I just find it weird to frame a character that let two people walk all over him the entire game up until the ending as this like controlling puppet master. Anyway, later that night, Michael is shown trying to kiss Allison in bed. She pulls away, implying that everything is back to square one. It's just like Catherine never was there at all. After all of these crazy events, Dr. Turner shows up to the house to talk with Michael and Allison. Michael comes across pretty normally and sticks with his story that Catherine left in a taxi. Earlier I said that if things don't work out with one psychiatrist, you could reasonably just try another. However, after all of this, Michael is not open to that.
You wouldn't consider someone else?
No. Absolutely not.
Dr. Turner convinces Michael to step away and talk with him without Allison present. Turner is clearly suspicious, and Michael starts telling him all about how terrible Catherine was.
You know she killed that dog she forced me to get? She poisoned it, tried to blame it on me. She's trying to turn Allison against me.
Interestingly, knowing that Catherine would not be able to defend herself, Michael sweeps a few things under the rug and tries to blame her entirely.
She even tried to get me to be unfaithful to Allison. She wanted me to do it so she could use it against me later.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't know what to say.
When she took that doll down from the attic, that was the end.
Michael tells Dr. Turner all about the doll, its significance, and what Catherine used it for. Then he slips up a little bit by referring to Catherine in past tense and saying things like, "You don't know what she tried to do or what she might have done if I hadn't stopped her." Of course, he could be referring to calling the facility to get her removed, but it certainly seems more ominous than that. Michael starts blending together past emotions with current.
She tried to kill Jody. She tried to blame it on me in front of Allison. It was my fault. Jody would cry whenever Allison would make her wear the seatbelt. What could I do? Allison would say, "Drive slower, Michael, drive slower." I did drive slow. Sometimes you're not thinking about it and you go a little faster.
Of course.
Dr. Turner continues probing, and eventually Michael confesses that to stop Catherine, he had to hit her. Once again, Dr. Turner asks if she for sure left in a taxi. He starts talking about the taxi, but obviously he's really talking about the grave.
Put her bags in first.
Where did you put her bags?
Put the hammer in too.
In the cab.
Michael had told Dr. Turner about how Catherine had killed the doll. To an extent, Michael viewed the doll as Jody as well. It was dressed in her clothing, and he had purchased the doll just for her. Because of what Catherine had done, he wanted to bury the doll as well. They discuss how the suspicious mound of dirt outside was actually just the doll's grave.
It was hard for me to pick up that doll. I had to throw a tablecloth over it. She dressed it in Jody's clothes. You understand why I had to use a tablecloth?
Oh, of course.
Dr. Turner kind of slips into this mode of just agreeing with whatever Michael says. Kind of a, yes, Mr. Crazy Man, please don't kill me.
Alison is a warm, loving person. And I know that whatever you did it to protect her.
I'll always protect her.
Michael, Mrs. Randolph is still on your land, isn't she?
The jig is up. Obviously, Dr. Turner knows. He very calmly lets Michael know that he'll be calling the police to come and check the yard.
You don't know how it was, or you'd understand.
Oh, I'm sure you're right.
This here is the coolest shot ever. Michael looks out from the infamous window down on Catherine mockingly for once. Her body is taken away and the police come for Michael. Dr. Turner tells Alison that she'll have to go and stay in a hospital with Jody since Michael will be gone for a while.
Alison?
Yes, Michael?
I love you.
I know that's silly.
Alison doesn't really seem to understand fully what's going on, but Dr. Turner promises that she'll be taken care of.
Don't worry about Alison. We'll take good care of her.
And this time, there better not be any more Mrs. Randolphs.
No more mistakes.
The police escort Michael outside, but there's time for one final crash out. Remember that easily missed paragraph about the Earth's heartbeat that I told you didn't seem relevant? I'm also quite sure that most people didn't read that journal entry, but here you go.
Can you hear that? I haven't heard that since I was a little boy. Shh. It's there. It's the Earth's heartbeat. It's there after all this time. It was always a secret of mine that I wanted to share with Jody. Of all the things that I wanted to tell her and I never did. That's the one I regret the most.
And that's the ending I got. From here, the credits start rolling. Now, I'm truly fascinated that this just randomly comes up in this ending. Again, it's just a totally throwaway random paragraph in a very easily missed journal entry. Looking into the Earth's heartbeat online, it seems as though some people consider a real phenomenon known as the Schumann resonance to be the Earth's heartbeat. It's a real vibration, but some people find it to be meditative or spiritual. This is interesting because Michael is famously resistant to meditation and spirituality. I wonder if there's something to the fact that this heartbeat of the Earth does technically have some real world behind it that he's able to value it. This kind of fits with another moment that Michael had where he talked about genuinely yearning to reject reality, but he knows that there's no point. Something within him wants to be able to accept Alison's spirituality and line of thinking, but he can't, so maybe this is as close as he can get. But of course, ultimately, the regret of not being able to show Jody is the main factor at play. Overall, in this ending, it doesn't go well for pretty much anyone. Michael completely lost it, Alison is back to square one, and Catherine is murdered. The game has a total of 8 different endings, but seems to split into one of 3 paths: the Michael path, the Catherine path, or the Tide path. The way that you answer Dr. Turner's questions determines the tone of the game and which ending you get. Overall, the storyline really doesn't change much except for the endings, but the scenes certainly do. If you answer questions in a very adult, sexual manner, you get a lot of lewd scenes. The more tame your answers are, the more tame the game is, and there's a lot less nudity. The major driving force of the questions is what characters you tend to side with. Here's an example of a more neutral Michael.
Perhaps you should try a session with me.
I don't think so.
Well, why not? You just said you were interested.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, Michael. I just heard you.
You'll be a happier person, I guarantee it.
Look, I just don't want to, all right?
Why do you feel the need to get upset when someone offers you help?
I don't need your help. Allison, I've made a decision. I'm going back to work tomorrow.
Well, that's wonderful, Michael. You need to get out of the house. You're getting too serious.
Here's an example of a more sympathetic Michael, where he's being kind of condescended to. Some of the changes are really subtle, but they definitely affect the tone.
I didn't know you had such an interest in meditation, Mr. Overton.
I'm curious about a lot of things.
Perhaps you should try a session with me.
I don't think Michael's quite ready for that yet.
You know, I'm thinking about going back to work tomorrow.
That's wonderful, Michael. You need to get out of the house more. You're getting too serious.
And the final variant of this scene, where Michael is clearly portrayed more as the asshole.
I'm curious about a lot of things.
Perhaps you should try a session with me.
I don't think Michael's quite ready for that yet.
I don't get it. What's so funny?
What are you talking about, Michael?
What are you two laughing at?
No one's laughing.
No one's laughing now, but both of you were laughing a second ago, and I want to know why.
Michael, stop it.
I don't need this shit, Allison. I've made a decision. I'm going back to work tomorrow.
Well, that's wonderful. You need to get out of the house. You're getting too serious.
There's a surprising amount of variation in the scenes, especially when it comes to subtle things or framing characters' motivations. One last round of examples. Here's a more neutral Michael.
After you shower and change, I have a list of groceries I want you to get.
We don't need anything. I went shopping yesterday.
A more problematic Michael.
After you shower and change, I have a list of groceries I'd like you to get.
You think I need a shower? Maybe I should have a sponge bath.
And last but not least, a more problematic Catherine.
I'm not taking a shower until I finish cutting the lawn.
Maybe you prefer a sponge bath.
Clearly throughout my playthrough, I tended to sympathize more with Michael. Now when it comes to the different endings, some of them are very different and some of them hardly change at all. There's 3 variants of the ending I got. One where it's exactly the same, but Michael starts hearing Jody calling for him and loses it even harder. One where it's pretty much exactly the same, but Michael gets away with the murder. And then there's one where Michael hits Catherine, but owns up to it and calls the police himself, and the ambulance is able to take her. A lot of the different variations in this game have really cool touches. For example, in the version of the scene where Michael calls the police himself and he directly faces what he's done, you can see the entirety of Catherine and her whole face. Versus the ending I got, where he really tries to hide what he's done and her body is very covered and only implied. In another ending, Catherine actually loses it and kills Michael with the sledgehammer. Now, as a Michael enjoyer, I am not particularly fond of this ending. Once Michael is dead at the bottom of the stairs, Catherine takes the doll from him and essentially takes over Allison's life. She convinces her that Michael was trying to hurt Jody and that it was all self-defense. There's also variant endings where Michael gets roped into Allison's delusions and believes that Jody is still alive. In one case, this brings them closer together, and in another, they're still very dysfunctional. My personal favorite of the delusional endings, and the final variation we shall discuss today, is one where Allison actually makes it up the stairs. She and Catherine begin fighting over the doll while Michael has a breakdown on the floor. The fight escalates until Catherine falls down the stairs, and then...
Look how she sleeps. So peacefully. Remember when she was a little baby? We used to sit by her crib, watch her breathe. Her little eyelids flutter.
Yeah.
And there you have it. That is tender, loving care. Obviously, I really like this game, or I wouldn't have just talked about it for over 2 hours. I think that it's extremely underrated, and I would like to see it sometimes be included in the conversation when people talk about the old great FMV horror games. It's certainly not perfect. There's very little interactivity or actual gameplay. Sometimes the pacing is kind of bad. But you know what? I like it anyway. And hopefully you enjoyed today's look at TLC. I don't want to know how many Blockatiles I had to put into this video, and I'm not counting. They really worked overtime today, so if you'd like to give them a little bit of a tip, head on over to my Ko-fi, the link is below. Below you'll also see links for the Discord server where we have little tournaments and chat and hang out all the time. I would love it if you dropped by and showed me pictures of your pets. Also be sure to check out Manta Sleep's products down below. Hee hee hoo hoo goodbye!